What's up, everybody? I'm sorry I'm a little bit late. Y'all know my life is crazy. But I'm here. I'm glad to be with you guys. And I promised you guys that we would do this tonight for everybody who wanted to come up on the panel but couldn't. So, like the videos my intro plays, I'm going to drop the link and we are having like an open discussion. Everybody is welcome. Everybody is welcome. Hold on, let's see. Is it somebody says it's going to be messy? Probably. Expect it.
Make it make sense.
Make it make sense. Could somebody please make it make sense?
Big moves.
Never usually silly ever. Know that.
Make it make sense. Tell me how you squeeze it. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things that you see. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things of your dream. Hey, let me work out all the things in between. Make it make sense. Tell me how you squeeze it. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things that you see. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things of your dream. Hey, let me work out all the things in between. Make it make sense.
I hope you. We need help, you know? No. Okay.
Why would that woman think that you could go up to Wendy Williams with the camera talking about I'll help you? You know Wendy doesn't like germs. That is hilarious to me. So again, this is y'all's night. The link has been dropped. If you are a new subscriber or aren't like really kind of in the know about YouTube, when somebody says the link is dropped, that means you click it and sign in, and then you'll be up on the panel with me. Only rules are, let's try not to curse. YouTube is quick with the demonetization. So, but anybody's welcome. In fact, I would love some of those Giselle supporters who wear me out in my comments to come up tonight. Contrary to popular belief, I do not hate the lady. Honestly, I just call her hypocrisy. It has been dropped. Y'all, we can talk about, if you've been following my channel, I did the Michael Darby alleged warmonger. Alleged. I had to put that. What's up, Miriam? I haven't seen you in a minute. I hope everything is going on. I think Miriam is not paid by anybody. She's been one of my subscribers from the beginning. I think she went back to school to get her MBA. So hopefully everything is going well. See, we know each other around here. We got a lot of new people. We're almost at like 27,000 subscribers. So it's a lot of new people, but we don't always agree, but it's really great to have people who, respectfully disagree. So what's up, Judgy?
Hey.
Nikki? Kai?
Hi.
Oh, we're getting a packed house. What's up, Stephanie?
Hello. Oh Lord, it's not working.
Hold on. We can hear you. Whoever just said, "Oh Lord," it's working.
Hey, not working. Hold on.
Yeah, we can hear you. What's up, Marion?
Hi.
Hi.
Jacob?
How are you?
It's good. How's your? It was your MBA, right?
Yes. Yeah, but the reason I've been out is because I had death in my family. So,
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
yeah.
sorry to hear that,
Thank you.
Marianne.
Yeah. So I've been listening to you in silence. So you kept me going. Thank you so much. So don't be
You just want.
surprised about all the subscribers you're getting. You're funny as heck.
Oh, I thank you. I appreciate that. Y'all, Miriam only came up, y'all, because she wants to ask me for my reunion outfit. Don't front,
Yes.
Miriam.
That you wore it better. Thank you. I'm not gonna be long here. We'll let everybody talk. You wore it better, hands down. Now Giselle will have a vendetta against you. Like you wore it
Hopefully.
better. And
Y'all,
I
I'm
just
still
want to
trying to
say
go
one
viral with
thing.
that. So
Yeah, I just want
definitely
to say one thing.
What's up?
About the reunion, like, and about what Robin did, and that everybody's saying that Robin needs to be fired. Honestly, I feel like Bravo is going down a slippery slope. Both of them should be fired because, especially Giselle, because if she's the EP of the without credits producer of the show, she was He was accomplice in the cover up and behind the paywall. So she did both. Exactly. They need to be out because what they did is like, oh my God, I thought I saw hypocrites in my life, but not like this. It's
I would agree, Miriam. If I will liken it to Portia and Phaedra, how Portia didn't get anything, not even like a slap on the wrist or a demotion for what happened to Candy, and Phaedra took the brunt of it. And
Yeah.
if Robin is to get fired for this and nothing happens to Giselle, I do think that would be pretty messed up.
that's messed up because Robin did
I
that.
think the only reason why Portia didn't get demoted.
Yeah, Giselle told her to do that. So it was Giselle who orchestrated everything. She goes, we don't say anything now. And then when the season is over, we will say it and we'll make money out of it. Oh, yeah. You went to wear the outfit?
No. I hope
Yep.
y'all didn't see my Hoochie Daddy shorts. No, I usually have it really, really cold in my house, which is why I wear a lot of you see me in like these kind of shirts all the time because it's freezing. But for some reason, it's like 73 degrees.
Well, yeah.
Oh,
So
what's
here's
up, Richie?
so,
Thank you. Hold on one second.
will-
Audrey, don't call us Nappy. I love your name. Thank you so much for joining the membership. We're going to have a good time around here.
I will keep listening with everybody. Thank you so much for the laughs. It really helped me through this difficult time. You made it make sense.
That means a lot to me.
No, I'm
Thank
serious.
you, Miriam. I
Yeah.
appreciate
Bye,
it.
guys. I'll be listening.
Bye, Miriam. Condolences.
Bye bye.
What's up, Richie? What's up, Q? Anybody can jump in. This is y'all's night.
Oh.
I'm new to the channel, so I just wanted to say hi.
You've been around the block.
If you want to go viral, you have to sell it. You got to stand up in full body. You got to sell it in order to go viral.
You guys know that was not a dress, right?
Well, I'm just saying.
You know that's not a dress, right? This is not a dress. It's a bodysuit.
Same thing.
It's like a
You
blue
trying to go
group.
viral? You trying to go viral?
Yeah.
Well, you got to say something wild.
Oh, okay. So I am definitely going to have some different embellishments on it for tomorrow. So
Oh
Lord, embellishment.
Oh yeah,
but
reminder.
You know what?
Hmm?
I don't think that Giselle has anything. I mean, I'm pretty sure they conspired behind the scene, or Giselle knew what was going on, but I don't think she has anything to do with, or she should be held accountable for what Robin withheld and tried to put behind the paywall. Yeah, it's her podcast too, but I'm interested to see Giselle without Robin, and at the same time, I kind of want Robin to come back and get her licks because everybody is sick of her. And it seems like the door is open for, it seems like the gloves are off for Candace, Wendy. They always offer Karen, but I would be interested to see how if everyone treats them different now. Like really different. Even
If
Mia.
Robin leaves, Mia's going to be the new
Yeah.
Robin. Mia's going to be
Wait,
following
what'd you
right
say?
behind Giselle. I could guarantee it.
You
Mia's
think
already
so?
been
Oh, you
following
think that-
Even after they did that to her, they dressed her down about her business. You think she would be?
Yep.
Yeah, she did it at the reunion.
I see Mia getting fired though. I don't see Mia coming back.
I see
Really?
Mia
Mia's
staying
not
on.
getting fired.
I
She's
don't know.
not
Just
getting
getting
fired.
No,
She's
she's broke
good
now. They love that.
television. She's great television. But my thought is like it doesn't make sense to keep Giselle. Giselle doesn't bring anything to the show. When you bring something to her, she still stares like a deer in headlights, lets you say whatever you want to say, and doesn't give you no reaction. That's not what reality TV is about. When you
I feel like
react,
there's
you
something.
that back and forth. but she can't handle it. She's not a reader. She's not none of that. She's just she could be a friend
But
of.
Giselle is polarizing. People hate her, and
Giselle's
I don't know who loves
storyline
her.
is going to be Jason, and he's purposely going to go on there with his scandal and his baby mamas and etc. to give Giselle a storyline, and that's going to be next season. Just you watch.
Karen needs to pull her bag of tricks out, and Karen needs to talk about the time that Giselle was down in the church parking lot fighting over Jamal when she first got with Jamal, and she stole she pulled a Mia. That's what Karen needs to do.
Does Karen have proof?
It's all over. It's all like I'm from here. I'm from the area where they from. That's all they talked about back in the day. She took Jamal from his first wife, and they
Yes,
I heard that story.
They were down there in the streets fighting over Jamal. That's what Karen needs to do. Go into your purse, reach deep down inside the purse, and pull that out. And then look at Giselle and say, "What you gonna do about it?"
No, keep going. You just spilled the tea. Go ahead and keep going. Now, she had a fight with. What was the first wife's name? Because
I don't remember his first wife's name. I don't remember her name. I got to get her name. But that's what that's how she got Jamal the same way Mia got Mr. Brown. She stole him.
Mr. Brown. You think Karen could convince her to get on the show?
And she confronted his first wife in the church parking lot, and they got to fighting. Miss, I don't want my daughters to grow up and fight on TV.
Oh, hold on. Let me Google the name because I told you I was going to be messy. I didn't realize it was going to be this messy. Let me see. Jamal Bryant, first wife. Did Giselle disfigure her? I only see Giselle Bryant. So was it his first wife or his baby mama?
Baby mama or first wife, it was one of them, but it was before Giselle.
Okay, so let's see. Jamal Bryant, first baby mama.
I know he has an older daughter or son, one of them, before Giselle. So whoever that person was who Giselle was trying to get long johns from.
So Topaz is mama. Jamal has 5 children. Including 3 daughters with ex-wife Giselle. The couple share 15-year-old Grace, 14-year-old twins. Jamal has an elder daughter, Topaz, and a son, John, who's 5. Hold on, really quick, guys. Buddha Bell says, I absolutely love your commentary, and I caught you live other than your birthday. Oh, my God. That birthday live was too much. I told you guys my birthday live was going to be very adult. And it just happened to be extra very adult. So that's fellow Aquarius, can't wait to be here when you hit 50K. Buddha Bell, I can't wait here to when I hit 50K too. So can we speed that along? No, thank you so much, Buddha Bell, for the super chat. I really appreciate it. And for joining the membership. Buddha Bell is on it. We see each other. I like you, Buddha Bell. I like you, Buddha Bell. Q, that was a lot. Maybe I should try to find Topaz's mama and see if she'll interview with me.
Yeah, it's not a secret out here. Like that's not like some of the stuff. That's why I be like, I don't think they go in on Giselle enough because some of the stuff that we know, like people know about Giselle, and that's why I also believe what people saying like her and Karen are a pack and they kind of like they're still friends because with that kind of information, that'd have been hit the TV screen messing with somebody like me.
Okay, hold on. Somebody, y'all, shout out to my subscribers. Y'all keep y'all's ear to the streets and the curbs. Y'all be in my DMs letting me know the piping hot tea before it even happens. Y'all are over there pouring and stirring up the tea, then delivering it to me first so I can let you guys know. Shout out to Richie B, who said something in a comment that I missed about that Chris interview. Richie is on the panel tonight. All I did was put in Crystal Madison and it pops up Topaz Bryant's mother. So she's known.
No, she's known.
And also, if you notice, every woman after Giselle has been a dark-skinned woman except
Oh, she is a brown-skinned lady as well.
She's just let that sit. Let that sit.
They said that's why Giselle don't like the dark skinned girls.
Oh, that is such a good.
I don't think it's just like she don't like dark skinned girls. She don't like happy in marriages doing better than her dark skinned girls. Like if you was down and out and having a problem, then like she would probably be all like, okay, like I'll take you underneath my wing.
Well,
But if
as
you
someone
happy, I think
who
that's what I think it is.
had an ex who had a type, every time I would see that type of girl, which is someone who looked like me, I would be like, oh, that's someone that he would mess with. So she probably gets triggered when she sees maybe Wendy reminds her of someone that he was with.
I mean, I could reach
Uh,
out. That's messy, y'all. I shouldn't reach out to that lady.
you
Why
should.
not?
You should go.
You literally asked for her
You
name.
should.
You
If
cannot
she
backtrack. You
agrees,
literally asked for her
because she's
name.
it isn't like you searching for her very hard. Google know her. She public.
That's, I mean, I don't, oh no, I don't want to do that. Okay, guys. So, really quickly, let's start with the reunion because
Okay.
I usually go live right after the reunion and I let everybody come up. But this week, with my work schedule and the caregiving and YouTube, I couldn't. So, I promised you guys that we could talk about the reunion. Does anybody have anything they want to address from the reunion? Let's start with Judgy and just kind of move around.
All right, so I'll just lead off with this. I don't think anybody's spot is like really secured. They really give like an ensemble cast type of feel to me. I think like we were to cut four of those bitches right now, we probably find four more and we probably could keep the story rolling based on what they're giving because it's no sisterhood. There's no like commitment to like, oh, we in this together or anything like that. It is like honestly, it's like a game show of like who can like jab the lowest and like and get the rise out of somebody and then like gaslight them. That's my
Judgy,
opinion.
Judgy, I know somebody who I would like to see on the show. Can we get Crystal Madison on the show? Can somebody tell Karen that woman's name so she could have lunch with her next season?
Shoot, we're gonna have to find Karen at Tyson's Galleria too to tell her because she don't be on because I don't believe that's her on social media saying all that stuff. Somebody else writing that up. We have to find her in person to tell her.
I'm here for it. Kai?
Yeah. Oh, thoughts
You,
on reunion?
it doesn't have to be. I mean, again, this was an open panel. I said
It
I would do
was.
it for the reunion, but we could talk about a lot. Y'all want to hear something deep that a lot of people had in my comments about Giselle's daddy being a colorist? I
Oh,
researched it.
yeah.
I'm sure her whole family.
Honestly, I don't know why anyone's surprised because her father is from New Orleans and like she grew up in. I don't know why anyone's surprised by that.
I thought about doing a video on it, but when I actually like did the deep dive and read what he was trying to say, so I'll tell the story, and it could be one of our topics tonight. Apparently, her father was one of the first black men in the Texas legislature, and he was going up against Barbara Jordan, which is probably arguably one of the most famous black women in politics from the 50s, 60s, right? 50s and 60s. He didn't like her, and he did not like her policies, and he did not like that he felt she pandered to get things done. She would give up her power and her authority if it meant that she could stay in with the status quo. So when I heard that he had called her a aunt, Gemina, my first thought was, okay, it's running through my head. Well, this explains a lot about Giselle and the colorism and all this. However, when I read on, it would be equivalent of somebody today calling somebody a Uncle Tom, right? Are y'all following me?
Yeah.
He wasn't trying to say that she looked like a aunt Gemina.
The
What he was
behavior for
saying
the
was
politics.
it was the behavior. So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna run that story because you could say crazy things and probably get clicks and views, but what I try to do is if I don't know something to be true, I really don't run that story. And if I do run a story, I just present to you guys what I know and let you guys, make the determination. Does anybody have any comments on that?
I mean, is there proof? That's what he said. Is
Well,
it like a
I
live
read an
season?
actual
Yeah.
article on it. And so yeah, he wasn't talking about her looks per se. He was basically calling her uncle. Somebody put it in the a sellout is what he was trying to say about her. And I do think she had beat him in an election. So he was
Yes.
annoyed, he was pissed, and that's what he chose to call her.
They were political rivals.
Correct.
But I guess to me, it reflects, and some people have been talking about this, it still reflects the fact that Giselle is now sitting on the stage at reunion season 7 and acting like she doesn't know much of anything in Black culture. Yet the first season, her and Robin were black, 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 black. I'm black. I'm proud to be black. The sweeter the berry, the darker the Jews. And all, I mean, the darker the berry, the sweeter the Jews. Katie, you're black one day, got the Jackson 5 hair. Like, you were very well versed on someone presenting as black, being proud, being black, and now we're sitting here having a conversation, and you seem to not understand anything. And I think someone in our community can be obtuse about it, but the fact that she was one of the crusaders for blackness on this show, and now that we're trying to talk about an issue within the black community, and you seem to want to evade it as much as possible when you're clearly benefiting from it.
She only wanted to evade it when Candace, the dark skinned girl, was talking about it.
Yeah, she only paid attention once Karen said anything.
And
But she
also,
still was
she's an
basically
offender.
trying to deflect. Yeah.
But
I'm glad that you
also,
guys pointed that out.
well, also one thing about it is like, there are actually studies. I can't like think of which one it was that I read, but there's a study done that says that like white people, like if they see, like if you're walking down the sidewalk, you're a black person, and sometimes you notice like the white person ain't moving, you've been walking down the sidewalk, and they blatantly are trying to like bump your shoulder. It feels like it actually is because psychologically they actually don't see you as a person; they see you as an object. Compared to if you were a white person walking around the same path, they probably would move out the sideway because they recognize that, and it's something like psychologically they're like they don't see black and brown people. I would
think
have
it's
to like
generalizing.
look at it, but that's like one of the things. And then also it also goes back to the time when if you was a black man and a white man was walking in the street, you would have to step in the gutter. And you would have to walk in the gutter. Even if you were walking first, otherwise you would be arrested for I can't think of what it would be. You would be like arrested for like trespassing or like disturbing the peace or something if you and a white man walked the same sidewalk at the same time. You would have to step into like the whatever, and this is like back in the time when they used to have pigs. You would dump all your trash on the street and then pigs would run the street and eat all of it.
Yeah.
So it was like really foul for you to be having to step in the gutter. It was just like another like level to it that I think people don't
Like
realize to it.
dehumanization.
Yeah, that I think like again that it instills like this, idea that we don't that we darn, I'm sorry, I already had like a bottle of champagne, so
I want to ask
Really
like
quickly,
people.
hold
I'm sorry.
on 1 second.
I
I
love
want
that.
to say thank you, Savannah. I really do appreciate you joining the membership. Again, we have a good old time. I owe you guys a members only live. That's usually when I go kind of like behind the scenes and let y'all know what's really going on with me and what's really going on with this channel and the craziness that I go through. So thank you so much. And I think I got a super chat. Yeah. Liberia Rose says, what were the policies he was opposed to? Why would an AA man sing so low and use such a degrading trope during that era to describe a dark skin? I didn't know Barbara Jordan was a lesbian.
Oh.
Did anybody else know
that's
that?
tea.
I did not know this. This is true.
I didn't know, Liberia. Thank you so much for the super chat. I can't answer that question because when I heard it and it was verified that he said it, I was on it. I was like, oh, this explains so much with Giselle and blah, blah, blah. But then once I actually read the article, I was like, oh, okay, it's a different time. And it was their version, or he used it as a Uncle TOM as opposed to, trying to degrade her for the way she looks. Although I don't know this man. Maybe part of that was it. Maybe part of that was in there as well. I don't know. I just give you guys all the facts that I have, and then you make your own decisions as to why he would say that. But thank you so much for the super chat. I cut somebody off. Please
Oh,
continue.
I was going to ask because some people are like, they want Robin to come back. And I'm confused about why they want Robin to come back. Robin does not do her job. And people are like, we don't want anyone losing money. No, no, no. You're a reality TV star about your life. You came on here and
She's
her story
starless.
was. And she came on here and her interest for the season was supposed to be the wedding to Juan and that she wants a prenup and that she's thinking about an infidelity clause. So for you to not explain why having an infidelity clause is even more pertinent to you because he had recently done something that crossed boundaries with you, to me is you leaving a big part of the story out and why you're dragging your feet. And I can get some people's point to like Robin of like, oh, you guys just wanted to down her for the Juan thing. But to me, it's like, I still think Robin would have gotten some sympathy, some people who straddle the fence with her. And regardless of people downing her, she's supposed to live in her truth. And I guess, as I said to you minutes before, it makes me reflect on the fact that people say that Robin's supposed to be so relatable. But is Robin relatable because she came on here broke? And even more so, she didn't really want to explain how she was broke. It was Ashley who brought that up in the first place. So really, for me, it shows how much Robin has hung on and how Giselle has really taken Robin for this ride, because even Giselle and Robin have spoken about how the producers were not interested in Robin, and the only reason why they were interested in Robin was because of Juan and the money situation that she did not want to talk about.
Right.
Really
so why is she
quickly,
still
Melanie, thank you so much for joining the membership. Again, we're gonna have a good time, and you're gonna get behind the scenes stuff. Plus, I do giveaways for my members. I haven't done one since those Prada bracelets. Technically, the second person who won the Prada bracelet never even gave me their address or responded.
Oh, well, that was
So
me.
I
You
was
could
the
just forward it to me.
I was the runner up.
That was
So
me. You know
Stop.
what?
Oh my
It's
God.
difficult over here. It's just been hard time management. Even though it's this time later, I appreciate it, and I will DM you my address so you can forward it this way.
Okay, thank you, Judgy. But no, that probably will go back up
Hilarious.
for the members. I don't know. That's weird. Maybe they just didn't feel comfortable giving me the address. I don't know. But the bracelet is still here. So plus I want to do some more things. I definitely want to do some more giveaways. I really like giving back to you guys. Because I feel like it's really dope that you guys choose to spend time with me. So somebody put in the comments, it's always been a degrading trope. I agree. I'm just saying I gave the full context. He might very well have been specifically trying to degrade her in that way, talking about how she physically looked. But I do know in the article, they were saying that he was just unhappy with her policies and that he felt like she pandered to, her Caucasian counterparts to win. Sounded like a bitter old man to me.
Sounds like that to me as well. I think when I was we're quickly reviewing on just the Google profiles that come up, I think it was also an elitism thing because he went to Princeton and he got beat out. So there's another level to that, because going to Princeton at that time is also a big deal in that time period when things were very racially segregated.
This is a big deal today.
I was just gonna say it's an Ivy League. Hello.
We're not going crazy. I think there's more paths to going to Princeton now than that they were back then. And then, for people to really hype it up the way they did back then, even though it's a great thing to go to Princeton, it's a great thing to be able to go to college, period. I think it is an elitism element to this as well. That
Ivy League is definitely elitism.
And I think that, and also I don't think people touch on the fact that when they were going in and on, Candace for her mother being able to support her, all of them were coming from generational wealth. That's, the generational wealth of Robin's, father being a dentist or something, and
he is a dentist,
and her mother being, I can't remember right now. Again,
I think she's a professor.
She owns a business.
Yeah, she's an entrepreneur. They were able to afford to, have him come into their house and pay for his whatever sports he was doing so he can make it into the NBA and pay for the circles for him to get into. That
Robin said that the mom is paying her fees, her sorority fees still, and that they helped them out with when they went through their financial stress. But Robin's mom is still paying some bills for her as we speak.
That's
So
Do y'all
that's
think
the
that?
thing.
Do
Like
y'all think that
when
Robin's mom would take Ashley's mom in if times got hard for her?
Oh,
Do
No,
y'all?
she already taken care
Now
of.
Honestly,
that
she
would
seems
be
like a
a
sweetie.
show. That's a show I'd like to see.
Her mother should be ashamed that she raised that grown man and he cannot take care of himself. That's ridiculous.
Oh my god. I told you guys it was going to be messy. Thank you, Stephanie Ray, for joining the membership. Like I said, we have some good times over here. Welcome to the family. And thank you for everybody who does join the membership. It is another way to support the channel. I appreciate every single one of you. I appreciate every subscriber as well. Thank you so much, Stephanie. Buddha Bell says, I enjoyed your deep dive into Michael Darby. I also can't wait to see your lives, videos, deep dives that's not just about Bravo TV. That's a good segue. Guys, I'm going to be expanding the channel. So it's definitely going to stay Bravo, but I will have like hot topics, breaking stories and stuff like that. So I ask that if you see something and it's like a short, 5 to 8 minute video, please click on it. It definitely helps me in the algorithm and it'll start pushing my content. You guys can see YouTube pushes my Bravo content, but my other content, I'm going to have to really work hard to get that in the algorithm. So thank you, Buddha Bell. I really appreciate it. And one more, Belicious 28. I hope I said that right. Thank you for joining the membership. The straight shooters are, we're a mess, but we are a good mess. We're the kind of mess you want to be and the kind of mess you want to see and be a part of. Oh, we got a super chat. Liberia Rose, thank you so much. She says, come on, y'all. What Jizzy's dad did is classic colorism. He was shocked at the fact that a dark-skinned black woman was able to best him. Please remember that is insidious. Liberia Rose, let me tell you, because I even had to get on the phone with my friend Kadi, and I was like, Kadi, I want to run this story. The way that my mind works, I get this a lot. I'm more logical than I am emotional. So when I hear and I see something like that, automatically, like my wheels start turning, and I'm like, well, this does explain a lot. If your father can just throw something out like that about, Barbara Jordan, what did he think about you dating a dark-skinned pastor? Like, was that why he never really liked Jamal? Because we can, everything else that we said is basically conjecture. I think some of it came from All About the Tea. We don't know if Sing Sing was necessarily real.
Sing Sing is in New York.
No, that was real. Like
that was
it's
real.
not real.
That was
Sing
real.
Sing is in New
It
York.
wasn't Sing Sing, but that was real.
Yeah, it wasn't Sing Sing.
It was a
else.
real psychiatric facility that she had to, get herself evaluated.
Yes.
So
I'm
she
just
can move
saying.
on. She had to spend a week in there or something. Get her mind right.
I'm just saying, for me personally, when I heard that, that is automatically what I thought. And I'm not saying that I don't believe that colorism played a part in why he said it. I just gave you guys the full context. And like I said, then you can do with it, whatever you want. But that was the full context of it. But thank you again for the super chat, Liberia Rose. This is what these are all about. An open panel is an open panel to me. It's y'all's conversation. Potato Head said, "Oh Lord, so Robin has been paying for P. What are they trying to say?
Penis.
Oh, I mean, I could see her paying for something else, but not that.
Ooh, and that word also starts with the P, you guys. Sesame Street has brought us the word P today.
Thank you so much, Potato Head. I appreciate that. So let's get into this Michael Darby thing. I don't know if you guys saw.
Yeah, this is crazy.
I don't know if you guys saw my Michael Darby video. How do I join the line? I'll drop the link and you just click the link. I dropped it again. If somebody asked about joining. So what I found basically was that Michael has acknowledged that he is the largest landowner in Mogadishu, Somalia. And it's crazy to think that a foreigner is the largest landowner.
Yeah, that seems.
Some people say that what he's done is an effort to stabilize the country, and he's part of this peace-seeking mission. Other people say that he is a warmonger And what he's doing is he's profiting off of this unstable country.
Yep.
And once it's stabilized,
Agreed.
he's going to have, he
Bingo.
literally owns a military installation. It was in the movie Black Hawk Down.
Are they saying this because he's
Yeah.
white?
What is that military installation thing? What do you mean by military installation? Is that just where they live?
I think so.
Like the community?
If he was black, would people be saying the same thing?
So no, he would not, because the United States government would have already like took him out as a war criminal.
Wait, absolutely, absolutely.
Does he have citizen? Does he not have citizenship there?
You don't have to have it. Anybody can purchase land, but the problem that I have with, anybody from America can purchase land in Somalia legally. The problem that I have with it is the man who he partnered with said there is no actual, like if you buy land in America, there's a deed and there's a block and everything is very specific, right?
Yes.
Here or there, they don't have that. They don't have the same kind of contracts and the same kind of structure. So you have to go to basically the tribes and people are in the surrounding area, and you have to say, this is what I want. And they just have to agree that this is your land. But it's not like Judgy owns this land and Mims is going to go buy it. So to me, I'm like, well, did you actually own it? Or, did you
take over it?
So
are you going to pay them?
So that's where like the military will come through.
Giving
so a lot of it is
colonization.
like funding the war. So it's the same thing right now that I feel like the United States is doing with the whole like Russia-Ukraine issue. Like you're funding one side of a war. But we're doing it on a smaller scale. So what happens is that you will fund like the rebels, you will cause whispers, you will cause like disruption to dethrone whatever government or other systems in place. And then once they cause like inner conflict, you then bring in your trained militia to then wipe out the area and then militarize it so that others will stay away from it. That's essentially what he's done in that area.
And
so,
they
so
install
that's
the government that they see.
Is he connected to like a militia, or is he just connected to like the land and providing
it's very hard to state because it is under a LLC that's trying to say like, oh, we are part of the peace effort.
Him and those damn LLCs.
So that's like essentially what's going on here is like under the LLC, he's stating that I'm coming in here to help stabilize it and bring, new business into the area and all this stuff. And because it's dangerous, I have to invest in military. But that's essentially what they're going to do is like they're going to keep pushing through until they are able to, secure enough of a spot where they can then probably turn it into some sort of travel industry, because that's like the biggest way to flip it is like, who wouldn't want to go to
it's giving nefarious.
Africa. It's going to have like great weather, pretty much no rain. You're going to be able to build your own airport and have those airports, pay a fee to be there. You can, then start getting into the lodging industry, have hotels, full-time resorts. You have animals like across Africa that you can then kidnap and then, put into your own zoos in the area for the people to watch.
Honestly, create a whole city.
He's looking at like a $1 billion industry.
So will they create a democracy?
No, hell no, because they want to like.
No, he's just creating an economic monopoly for himself.
Exactly. You can make your own little world there. Because what people don't realize in this world is that we have a lot of different resources and all this other stuff. But one thing is that we have limited is land. There's only so much land in the world.
Africa
so you have to do whatever you
way
can
bigger
do
than it appears on the map.
Well, because
so do you think that they will put in like a faux government?
Hold on 1 second. Let Leo Aries say, because you haven't said too much today. What were you asking?
Yeah, I've been trying. The conversation is so interesting. So do you think that they're just going to put in a faux government? This has been done and created over and over again in Iraq, in Liberia. So there's always been like a faux government to be put in place, because you still have to certify contracts of ownership just in case it is challenged. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I think in this situation, now I'm not saying that it is, we're doing hypotheticals here. If the governing body is like a lot of countries just run by the dollar, and you have these rich investors coming in saying we're going to build the country, and by your own admission you don't have those same type of contracts that or a deed like we would have here, then the sky's the limit. You could give, a politician $1 million for their campaign and they say we're granting you 44 acres by the airport. Michael has 44 acres by the airport.
But after this community, this resort community, I'm just saying hypothetical, just like everyone else. Once this tourism industry has been created, there's still going to have to be a system of deeds. It's still going to have to be a system of where, even though it was never their land, just like it did with the Indians, y'all, even though it wasn't their land in the beginning, it's our land now. And some form of government is going to have to be established to keep the money train going.
So they have a government. They have a government. They have a governing body. I'm just saying the people and the tribes are saying that the government body is corrupt. Similar to what you said about Iraq.
Oh, okay.
I know a lot about Iraq because I spent a year there and I got to see what a destabilization of a government looks like, and who it really affects is the regular everyday
people. The regular everyday people.
Exactly.
The indigenous people.
Yes.
Correct.
Right.
I know, like Mims you read part of the article, because this, to me, it does kind of show that this relationship between Ashley and Michael is all about her daddy issues, and that yes, she's looking for that financial support, but also she's looking to fill that space, because she goes on TV and says Michael used to own the Watergate Hotel. No, Michael used to own a part of a building within a group and almost lost everything, which is why at least he's smart enough to hunt down for this land in Somalia and get interested in this all the stuff to get the money back, because he lost a lot of it. And so I do think that he is a very smart man who has come to a point where he's had the 20-year marriage with the 2 kids, had to give that wife some stuff, then went and lost all the money and the 28 real estate drop, then went ahead and found Africa. So I do think his money is tied up in different ways. And I didn't think that she signed on the dotted line on something stupid, because she's the same woman when Potomac came out on the Breakfast Club and said she didn't even ask Michael to pay her student loan bills. What are you with this old man for? And he's not even going to help you be debt free.
He's with them for his old balls.
And the worm.
So your debt isn't even getting paid. That's insane.
Like, what kind of mess is this? So to me, it's like, I don't believe in this divorce situation, and I believe it's because Ashley knows there are things she does not know. And I think maybe she went and looked at the prenup, and maybe she was questioning it, but I do think this is more in the hands of Michael and making sure that he doesn't want to be on TV anymore, and he wants to live his life. You have your 2 kids, live in your house, and I can snatch it whenever I want to, because this is also the same woman who already got kicked out of the penthouse before, because her name was never on that house, on the condo. So to me, it always shows that she goes on the show and she does a lot of projection. She does it with Robin. She does it with Candace, because you have barely ever lived on your own in the first place, because you met Michael when you were 22. And then you moved into his bachelor pad and just moved out to a home that's in an LLC. You didn't read the prenup. I don't even know if you are a equal partner in this LLC, let alone a voting partner, as Mia has said. So to me, it's like she has put herself in a dangerous situation with 2 young kids.
I don't think what I think about the situation is, like, a lot of people don't realize is that you can live off your LLC. So if you keep saying like you're reinvesting in all of this, if you say like, oh well, my penthouse isn't my residence, it is my business office, you can write off the whole thing. And I don't think like people realize that how much you can write off and like keep looping back around each other around your business, where you can show that you don't make a profit personally on any of this, or it
but it shows that Ashley's not involved, because most rich people. Oh, sorry. But most rich people would do a trust, especially like, again, Ashley's supposed to be Mother Earth, Mother Nature. I would have done a trust, not some like. It shows that she has no hand in any of this.
Well, also the thing is that when people don't realize is that for this LLC, depending on how much is the percentage that she owns, let's say like 10 years down the road, they're maybe halfway through paying this mortgage, right? And she wants to go ahead and marry somebody else, and he's like, no, well, you got to get out this house. And she's like, well, I paid 10 years in. If he owns 60%, she owns 40%. She will have to pay him out 60% of his share.
Yeah.
To then be able to get out. So either way, she loses in this regard. If he decides that guess what, I want to default on this loan and just let it be tied up in courts because then we realize that he has this much money, where he doesn't mind if he gets tied up in court forever on it, because again, it will not affect his personal credit. It will affect this one single LLC that has its own EIN number with the IRS that he can keep looping around, and poor Ashley will be, trying to fight it on her own. And if he ignores it, there's so many times where they'll ignore all this stuff, have it, go to bankruptcy on the one LLC, and then start over again.
Wow, yeah.
So
But
I
where
think
is
they
Ashley's
realize that
money?
element to it.
I wanna hold on 1 second. I am Leo. Pretty Black Girl, Stephanie, Salam. I hope I'm saying it right. Is it Salome? You guys,
Salome.
so you got Salome?
Salome.
You gotta throw bowls around here. It's
You
like an
really
open
don't. I was
panel.
waiting for my turn because I thought we were going in order, and I thought I was next after Kai, but then we like totally switched topics. So I'm listening.
No,
Right, and
okay.
it's
Oh,
to
sorry,
know
we're
about
going
the
all
time
random, and
I'm listening.
I've had a
All
couple
right, I'll
drinks.
set up for a little bit.
Ashley is
That's
getting
Mim's fault.
divorced. I don't.
That's
right,
my
it's
fault.
Mim's
I was
fault,
having a
and
couple drinks.
All right. Well,
I was
y'all
just
go-
yelling
sorry.
at stuff.
I
I'm
have
sorry.
one
We should
question.
go back to
I have
the
one
reunion
question
if
for
y'all
y'all.
don't
I
mind.
have one question for y'all. Do y'all really think Ashley is getting divorced from Michael?
No.
No. The answer is no.
It's take
No.
Michael out of the storyline just so he doesn't have to be on
Yes,
camera. He doesn't have to.
exactly.
That's all that's about.
Yep.
Stephanie,
makes the most
please
sense.
jump. The floor
No,
is yours,
I
man.
was gonna go back to the reunion.
Go back to the reunion.
All right.
Do it, girl.
So, long story short, I'm gonna keep it simple. I'm disgusted by Candace and Wendy. They played
Really?
themselves to the
What?
upteenth level, and if they're firing people, they
Wow.
should be on the chopping block too. I'm gonna tell you why.
Elaborate, please. Yes.
I'll
Oh.
elaborate. So, Twitter and Instagram and everybody online has been talking about the colorist issue. And Candace followed up on that with her Twitter fingers and implied it's an issue on the show. I'm going to be honest. When Bravo gave us that 5 minutes of colorism topic, I was shocked. I didn't think we would get it at all, honestly. But the fact that they got it, we knew the light-skinned girls didn't have much to say because they don't want to admit that they're colorists. But the two dark-skinned girls, if you look at my picture, I'm their complexion, that had the opportunity to read them down on their colorist behavior and call them out for it and didn't take it, I'm disgusted. Candace especially, no, both of them especially, Wendy too. But Candace has been there longer than Wendy, and she's been through more. And she's known to read the girls down. And when Andy specifically said, is anybody on this cast colorist? And she said no, I was done with her. At this point, if somebody bops her next season, she deserves it.
I'm not gonna go that far.
I'm going that far.
Not
You
boxer.
know what, Stephanie? I want to say this is a cop out. I'm prefacing it with that. I think that Candace, nor Wendy, nor anybody on the couch really wanted to jump out and really dive deep into that topic because they don't want the show to go the way of Basketball Wives. The minute that OG, rightfully so, called out colorism and featureism and all those things, it was a downhill spiral for that franchise.
Then don't talk about it on Twitter. Don't use your Twitter fingers and imply your
That's
cast
true.
I think at the same time though, that wasn't the right time to have the conversation because they were in the midst of arguing.
They were literally
fussing,
saying they
and
were
going
effing
back
for
and forth.
lobsters, and then they.
So you didn't get a chance to like. I'm arguing with you, then we want to talk about colorism. So like and then we're gonna go back to arguing again. So I think instead of a 30-minute conversation with Roberto, it should have been a 30-minute conversation about colorism.
Well, Bravo's not going to do that. You know what I mean?
Well,
I'll be honest. I'll be shocked.
my
Like I
point,
said before,
though.
I'll be shocked Bravo even gave us those 5 minutes. I didn't expect
That's my
didn't even expect
that's
the
the
5
point
minutes.
though.
Real
Like
talk. It's a white network and they have no clue what colorism is. And Candace pulling out her Merriam-Webster definition of colorism. I mean, it was a cute beginning, but you had no follow-through after that. She just wasted those 5 minutes. They could have just been bickering about fucking over lobsters. Excuse my language.
I think that white people do know about their own version of colorism. I also think that Candace did her best to address the situation in a way where she didn't want to come off in a way where she felt like she had come off in the past by displaying a behavior that seemed unhinged. But I felt like
I
it was
didn't say
addressed.
she had to get ratchet with it. She could have eloquently called every one of them out, especially
Right.
Giselle.
I didn't say you said that. I'm just
I think she was
stating
being
my
overly
opinion.
conservative. Yeah.
And so I felt like she addressed the situation. We all know there's an underlying situation with Robin and Giselle that they in fact act in a way where maybe they might not say it out loud, but it's very, you know, it's a colorist way, you know, but it's a very deep and long conversation. And I felt like she did the best that she could. And Wendy
No.
jumped in and said what she had to say.
That's the
But it's
best
a
she
very
could.
deep.
She didn't even call Giselle out. At a minimum, she could have called Giselle out for being.
But how do you pinpoint that? How do you
one
pinpoint?
name
How
of
do you pinpoint that?
one person.
How would you have done it? Let's see. How would you have done it? Like
Yeah,
how would you
how
pinpoint
would you have
that?
done it?
I would like an example.
Well,
because
so
it's
Stephanie
very
said that
long.
Stephanie said that she could have done it in an eloquent way, but specifically addressed each woman and gave examples of how she felt they were colorist or
But what if she doesn't
exhibited.
think they're colorist?
And
Like
so, what
she
would
said.
be an example? Because we all there's an air of colorism,
I don't think that's
but we
simplistic.
can't really pinpoint it and say this behavior because it's a mix of a bunch of behaviors. It's
Yeah,
it's
right.
data
It's
that
subtle
we
to
and
me,
it's very subtle,
it's
and it's
like-
very a situation where it has to be a season long of a discussion instead of a 5 minute long, you know, segment on a reunion show. Like that part, I agree with you. It's not displaying your name, but the lady that just spoke before, I
Stephanie?
agree with you that Stephanie, I agree with you that this is a conversation that should have been had, but it's a very, it's like a subtle abuse
Nuance.
yeah, it's very
Yeah.
subtle, and it's like an air, right? Like you could go to a store and feel a certain type of way, you know, and it's like it's hard to pinpoint, so you just do your thing and try to get out of there. You know what I mean? But it's hard to pinpoint, and maybe you don't have the words, and maybe Candace doesn't have the words, you know, to say it in an eloquent way. But I felt like she tried. I felt like she didn't.
At
skirt
a
the
minimum,
subject.
she couldn't call out just one cast member for her colorist behavior. Just one. You don't even have to go down a whole line. Just
But
Giselle. She
it's
couldn't
only
even
so
do
much
that.
you can do in 2
But
minutes.
can I say something?
But when she did that, she was opening up like a full-on battle.
Can I say
Yeah,
something?
Richie, go ahead.
It's like, okay, like with Giselle and Wendy, right? Giselle hates Wendy because of that read that, you know, that she gave about her daughters and da 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 da. And you could argue that Giselle's behavior towards Wendy is just her being hateful, not colorist. You know, because Sharice is darker skin. I don't know why people lump Monique in with the darker skin girls. She's light skinned to me, but I don't know if is it colorism or is it just Giselle being hateful? Or
Well,
is it the
I
things
purposely
that
left
happen?
Wendy out because I said Candace has been there much longer than Wendy. And, you know, I
Well, I'm
personally
talking
don't
about
like
the
Wendy
attitude
for other
towards
reasons. But Wendy
Wendy.
probably has not been there long enough as Candace has to see the full-fledged colorist behavior season after season
So
after season.
it
That's
might
why
not
I
be
said Candace
colorism.
was disappointed. But Wendy
Yeah,
Might not be colorism.
I mean,
I
the
feel
fact
like
that me was
Giselle-
able to get away with that was questionable.
And then just
Giselle
to
is a
follow up
very
with Richie's
intelligent
point,
woman.
if that's true, let's just hypothetically say you're right. She has not seen any colorist behavior. You know what I mean? That's just them being just generally hateful women. Then don't get on Twitter and imply they colorists. Don't do that.
I mean,
That's true.
everyone's
Before
entitled
we
to
move on,
realize
before we move on, Satra Del Rey says, Satra Del Rey 360. China is in parts of Africa, but China is not setting up a democracy. It is colonization. You can do LLC and then a trust.
Can I
All right,
say something about that real quick?
That's true.
Can you guys hear
Go
me?
ahead.
Mhm.
You're
Oh, hi.
LY, right?
Yeah, hi, Mims.
Hello.
It's my first time on your channel. I
I'm
am
glad
from
you guys
that part
took
of
my.
the.
I'm glad you guys
What?
took my suggestion and came up. I love having all you guys up here for the open panel.
Oh, no problem. Thank you for inviting me. I am that part of the world. I am from East Africa, and I know a lot about this topic. My people are from there. I grew up there. But that white man, Darby, is not a friend of Somalia. He never has been. He is a colonizer, and the last 30 years, the civil war in Somalia has to do with oil and the fact that every white man who wants to be another colonizer, who wants to take a piece of Africa, goes there and tries to manipulate the UN, or they are part of the UN. That's the UN is not there on behalf of our people. They are there to maintain the world powers of Europe and America. So please let's not misunderstand the reasons why that Australian is in Somalia. And once we have we have governments sometimes that get elected that are deposed by Europeans and other people because they want a certain dictator that will be their ally, because they want the sea, they want the coastline. They have poisoned our fish. They have poisoned all of our land in this coastline. They've done a lot of damage. And the reason why it's so dangerous is because of what Europe and the US has done to Somalia. The reason why there are so many refugees is because of that. So he's there because he got an access to it and he's profiting from it and he wants to wait. But if we're able to ever kick these people out, and he cannot be a Somali citizen because white people cannot be. They always use the United Nations to come through that part of the world to create more havoc so they can get a piece of land, so they've had oil companies in Somalia since the 90s because they've been waiting for the right warlord or the right dictator to take over so they can give them access to things. So that's all I wanted to say. This man should not be. I hope and I pray that he gets out, that he needs to be, they all are war criminals, and I hope that he also gets what he deserves. And he also lives in DC, so he has a lot of access to all of these Congress people and all of these people that are taking part and destroying our Africa. And so and Chinese are there too, and a lot of African countries are waking up to what China is doing. So they're still after our people and our land. So it's not like, oh, he is not keeping peace. The peacekeepers are there to keep the land there so they can wait for the right. They have been waiting for the right people to take over the land so they can take over. They want those seas. They want to use that as a resort. And hopefully when the right people come in there, they will tell them to leave. And I hope that's what happens. So that's all I wanted to say. Thank you for inviting me.
Well,
and
yeah,
I love your channel, and I love all of your jokes.
Don't leave, LY. Hold on. Don't leave. I had a question for you.
Okay.
When I was doing the research, it said that he was the largest landowner, but it was literally 44 acres. Is that a large amount of land for Mogadishu?
Not the largest landowner in Somalia. I think they're talking about that area, maybe. I don't
Yeah, that's what I'm asking specifically. Do you think 44 acres is a lot in Mogadishu?
For someone who's not from there, yeah. And probably that land belonged to a tribe or community that was displaced, most likely. So it's not like somebody owned that land. It usually belonged to a community or a clan or families that were displaced because of the war. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's like the native land, like the native people have been displaced a lot of their land. And I think from what I understand, and I haven't really dig deeper into the people that were displaced, but most likely people were displaced from there because of the war that the US and Europeans were feeding. And then it probably was some warlord was there and they probably gave him some money and they said, here, take this. And now that's why there's no paperwork. Mm-hmm. That's why there's no paperwork. Mm-hmm. If there was paperwork, it would be a different story. But the fact that there's no paperwork means that somebody was given something. And if this goes to international court, most likely the country will win if the country wants to go after them, because they are there under the auspices of U.S. government and embassies. You know what I mean? Like mm-hmm. They're treated like diplomats, but they're not from there. They don't have any passports there. And that's, yeah. So I think they're talking about, I think that's a stretch to say the largest landowner in Somalia, because Somalia is huge and there's and I think they're talking about that particular, maybe in the city, in the proper, within the proper, with the city limits. That's my guess, but I don't want to quote.
I remember reading that. I think you're right.
Well, I really appreciate you coming on. I mean, we needed a subject matter expert, because I can only do so much research, but it's different having somebody.
I've seen a lot.
Amazing to hear
from you.
There.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're
for
welcome.
sharing that.
I just don't. don't trust these people. And I don't, my daughter told me, and I couldn't believe it. She said, "Did you know Mike?" And I said, "No." And then when she said that to me, and I looked it up, and then she said, "Oh yeah, a Somali blogger." When this whole thing with Michael and whatever Ashley were online, a Somali blogger posted it on Twitter, and that's how it got picked up. But people have been talking about this for a long time. But now they got another dictator in there, and I think he's giving them the green light to do whatever. And then hopefully they won't win, because they keep waiting for these dictators to come in, or these elections. They also corrupt the elections. Like whenever you see there's trouble with elections, there's somebody in there from all of these 3-letter I don't want to say the government names, but you know what I'm talking about. The 3-letter, the intelligence and the bureaus and all of them. They're all in it. They're not. They make it look like
CIA.
Oh.
Yeah. That's my
letter
point.
alphabet agencies.
I got you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Kawan.
All right.
I
Thank you.
appreciate that.
Thank you, everyone.
Maybe this is like a slight.
This is my first time ever. Okay, I don't
you came
ever
in
come
and
on.
dropped
I'm
the
always
mic.
commenting.
You heard me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Came in
What?
with a mic drop.
I know, we were all like, whoa.
Okay, that's cool. All right, talk to you soon. Thank you.
All right. Buddha
All right,
Bell,
bye.
I got a couple super chats. Buddha Bell says, I feel like the lighter women outvoted the moderator. Wendy knew it was going to be BS, and anything she would say, they would be against her. So that's why she said nothing. Thoughts? Wendy, I have seen some of her real-time commentator gigs, and typically she's talking about Black issues. I think that even she's a professor of, is it African American studies?
I thought it was political science.
Sorry, political science.
Yeah, political science.
Is very well versed on this. So it is interesting that she didn't say anything. Some people said that maybe she did and it was edited out. All we can go by is based on what we saw.
It seems edited.
I was disappointed as well. I thought that the conversation, I did a video today where Carlos King had mentioned Giselle's pedigree and how she had the ability really to come in and speak as a, lighter skinned woman. And she chose to be one of the ones who really wanted to shut the conversation down. So I think they could have kept that 5 minutes.
She's the Lisa Rinna of Potomac. She has filled herself with this villain persona, and she has enjoyed it and continuously keeps it going. She don't want to have a deep conversation about colorism. She want to get into the weak tea and all the BS. That is what Giselle and Robin are into, and they enjoy and they check while they doing it with their reasonably shady podcast.
Do y'all follow Layla Lynn? Do you follow Layla? I love Layla.
Yeah. How about you? Yes, never mind.
I love Layla. She did a video where she kind of brought up some very valid points that maybe the Potomac girls don't make what we think they make.
Yeah, I heard they make a little
they
lower.
make a few 100,000. They ain't making millions like Atlanta, but they're making a few 100,000.
I just thought of something though about like the whole Michael real quick. I feel like there might be like a blessing in disguise because we wouldn't even really be that much aware of this issue as much. Like we're all regular smugglers now digging into this because of Michael. So it's kind of like a silver lining.
Right.
I'm
and LY just came in and just pulled it.
I mean,
I think the only cast that really makes a whole bunch of money, I think the only franchise that makes a whole bunch of money is Atlanta, because Beverly Hills, I don't even think they're making millions a season.
I think Kyle now makes $1 million.
Okay.
I think they had to scale back on those big payouts.
Erica got $1 million after she had that big scandal.
$1 million to do what?
Thank you.
It's
a lie.
Giselle and Robin should be getting $1 million because they lie the best.
They're not worth $1 million.
But they low budget. They'll take whatever they're giving them. If it's 200,000 for a season, that's good.
Right.
Check.
Well, we know Robin
Giselle
B
is looking at
looking
at the longevity of it, and I think Giselle is a very intelligent and allegedly sociopathic woman, and so I feel as though she's not connecting to really anyone. Robin is the most manipulable person there. For whatever reason, Robin has a very low self-esteem, in my opinion. she lacks identity, in my opinion, and she gets very angry.
Ron brought the dog on her for years. Ron brought the dog on her for years.
You know,
she needs to
deservingly so.
Hold on, hold on, really quick. We got to let her finish her thought.
Oh, thank you. No, I feel like she, Robin is just a follower. You know, she followed Juan. She follows Giselle. She, gets angry. That's what I know about Robin. You know, and but no, Giselle's a very smart woman, and she uses the people around her to get what she needs to get done. I feel like she uses her beauty as a tool. She's very smart, you know, and I can respect
smart.
that. I feel like Giselle's very smart. I don't feel like she really connects to her beauty. I don't really feel like Giselle connects to her beauty like I think she does, because she dresses very badly. But I feel as though she uses what she can to get what she wants. And it's not connecting with her. It's not a heart issue.
Robin is.
I do think she's shrewd, right? She realized like a lot of these reality stars, their expiration date is nearing. So what can she do? She's now in a reality show. I'm going to do whatever I can to make as much money as I can from this, and I'm gonna ride it till the wheels fall off. I'm not gonna care if I become a villain, because the money's going to roll in. I'm sure Giselle is the highest paid on this cast. So in that way, I agree with you. I do think that she's astute enough to know how to keep getting money on the show.
But is that intelligence, or is that just being shrewd and not caring about how you make your money?
I mean, we can think about it morally how we want. Intelligence doesn't have to include morality, in my opinion. But
I don't think it's morality necessarily. I think we're giving Giselle a bit too much credit. I don't think that woman is that smart. I think I'll give her that she's situationally smart, but I don't think overall Giselle is like thinking down the line. I think she worries about year by year. Honestly, I really think that woman worries year by year.
I mean, they have the podcast. They have, something to fall back on at this point. I'm not going to say she's not smart. She's obviously in a position that she wants to be in. You know what I mean? Anybody that's in a position they actually want to be in and that she worked to get to me, is intelligent, because they were intelligent enough to get there. I'm not going to discredit that. Do I agree with her? No. I'm not sitting here being a Giselle fan, but I'm going to give credit to where it's due. When it comes to morality and the way in which she's doing it, I absolutely do not agree with her. And I agree with, the majority of you guys who are saying, hey, no, this is not the way to do it. But do I see, the way she's playing the game? Yes, I do.
And I appreciate, even if you were a Giselle fan, I like having different opinions on these panels. I had a subscriber that everybody ran away. His name was Colby, and he was absolutely in love.
Oh my gosh.
He was in love with Giselle.
I love Colby.
Where'd he go?
Y'all ran him
baby.
away.
Oh,
Y'all ran Colby away. Colby used to come up here and he would talk for Giselle, and I would secretly just be loving it, because I don't like to feel like anybody is just ganged up on, right? Even though it's a panel discussion, I would love to have some Giselle fans up here.
He started trolling.
Oh my god, I forgot about Colby.
Different sides and point of views, because I feel like we can see better when we have blind spots. Other people might have a different point of view, and I love that. I love debate. So,
Mims, Colby was cool at first, the opposite point of view, but he started trolling after a while. When he was, didn't he call you a house nigga?
No, he did not.
Andrew or Gabor just said Colby is an icon.
Wait, Gabor's in the room?
He started saying all this crazy stuff for shock value after a while.
Okay, hold on. I gotta get to these super chats. Evil Angel says, I don't recall them actually putting a time limit on it though. Or am I wrong? The cast did that to themselves. That's what they alleged, Evil Angel. According to Andy, they were fine with him sitting on the stage, and they were allowed to, talk as much as they want, even though that was a very short segment between two commercials. That was just a lead up to Mia and Jacqueline. But no, I don't know if I believe everything that production said regarding that particular segment. And I was disappointed in it, like the majority of you guys. I got a couple more super chats. Princess Jasmine from Aladdin. I like that name. She says, I believe Candace deliberately didn't call anyone out as she'd rather show the world the colorism rather than tell the world about it. She's not a SJW. What is SJW?
Social justice
warrior.
Not her job. Candace
And
is.
don't bring it up on Twitter.
I want to say something about
Hold on really quickly. I got to get through these super chats. Candace is the victim of Princess Jasmine. That's an interesting take on that. I don't know. I feel like if you were going to voice it on Twitter, then you should have. I do think she could have done more. I think that she could have came with examples. They clearly knew that the conversation was going to be had, and that's why she was able to pull out the definition of it so quickly. So if you were prepared, say something. But in her defense,
didn't she bring up
it is
Robin,
very difficult to prove colorism. You know what I mean? It's not a court of law. It's extremely difficult. Somebody would actually literally almost need to, say something off color in order to say, okay, well, this is that. We can see it. We can see signs. But, if nobody's going to agree to it, the conversation might have been moved from the beginning. Yes, ma'am. Pretty black girl.
Okay. I wanted to chime in on that as well in regard to pretty much defending Candace, only because production dropped the ball. It was their responsibility. And I'm an HR practitioner. In fact, I got, but at any rate, and that's where I'm coming from. Production was responsible for providing them with a safe space. They should have also brought in someone who was an expert in that area so that they could then explain the definition and they can provide the talking points for the ladies to then sound off on. But because production did
somebody
not
like Dr. Jeff or Iyanla?
Iyanla would have been great.
Yeah, but not definitely not Dr. Jeff. But in all seriousness, it's like because production has contributed to the foolishness that we've seen on film for the last couple of years with Giselle and Robin being unchecked, the harassment, the bullying, the mean girlness, and the out of an innocent victim. It was like, so why would you feel safe in that environment and not thinking that you're going to face retaliation? And it's like, and I think that's where they were coming from. And I feel as if she was okay with dipping her toe in it, but I also think that she was fearful of even the social media backlash. If they had a professional in there who could articulate what exactly colorism was, and they could then point out some of the examples that they saw on film or on the camera, and then allowing the ladies to then corroborate, like, yeah, you know what? But just putting them out there on their own, production truly dropped the ball on that. They should have provided them with that expert knowledge and guarantee them a safe space that, you're not going to be iced out. You're not, we're going to still allow you to film and participate in things. But because they haven't, and because they've allowed Giselle and Robin to go unchecked for years.
Yeah.
Like how, and if that's your money,
years.
It's like, if I get paid based upon the number of scenes that I participated in, and you can write my check, it's like, I too probably would have been reluctant to chime in. Like, your Twitter fingers are a totally different platform, but then and there in real time, and you're embarrassing them on camera in front of everyone. It's kind of a different. In my opinion, it's a totally different ball.
It shouldn't have been on Candace and Wendy it should not be a requirement that they educate the other girls. Part of it should be the other girls saying, we may not see it, but please tell us or give us an example or even play ball with them. And I don't think that they were willing to do that.
But I feel it's
race relations or something.
Yeah, but I feel as though Karen chimed in as well and said, hey, you might not understand what she's saying, but hear what she's saying and saying that because Karen was understanding that even though Ashley spoke up and said, hey, I acknowledge that I have privilege, and I'm whatever, she didn't say I'm going to work on that or whatever, she said she acknowledges it. Karen then said, well, hear her when she says that that's how she feels. He might not be intentionally telling you that's how she feels, and that's all you need to hear.
Well,
There's
Karen,
a really
maybe,
cool example.
maybe Karen shouldn't say things like, Wendy, it doesn't belong in this.
I think that has to do with colorism. I think
No, me neither.
There were some girls felt a certain way because this one, yeah, I know it's brand, but like there was a girl that came in
Thank you, Princess
and
Jasmine.
she felt like super ignored by this Italian dude, and she brought it up, and the way they handled it was like kind of dope. They were
What was
like,
the context? Was the girl black? And the
yeah,
man was called, he was Italian, but he was
yeah, he was Italian. He was like
okay.
literally from Italy. And she was like, look, like it's difficult. Like we're in the Hamptons. There's not a lot of black people out here. Like I'm already feel chimed in. She's like, actually,
yeah, they're having problems with the sound in the chat. Sorry to cut you off, Tasha. People are saying they can't hear.
hold on, let me
Right.
take out the. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
I feel like I'm like in that commercial where I'm like, can you hear me now?
Hear you as well.
Perfect. Okay. So like basically it was really cool. It was literally what you're describing. I may not understand, but I'm hearing you because I want to hear you because I want to correct this. And it was like what you were saying just now reminded me exactly of that because I was like, wow, like this was the perfect example of this conversation going down and people being listening and opening and really wanting to hear them. They literally told them, no, I want to hear you. I want you to tell us. And it was like, it was really cool. And I know that's like a random show and it's like, whatever, but like what you were just describing just now.
No, it
just
applies
reminded
to
me
what
of
I
that.
just said. The other girls had a responsibility to say, even if we don't see it, tell us what your feelings are and how can we make it better. Do we play a part in it? I get it.
But
Really
before,
quickly, because we got a lot of super chats. Succeeding to says Candace and Professor added 0. Karen understood 100%, and that's the first
Exactly.
time that has been said ever.
Exactly.
Thank you, Succeeding. And Feel Good says, how come people could see the issue with Mia and Wendy, but not with Candace and Monique? A lot of people made the same statements as Giselle.
Can I
See what
How come
issue?
people could see the issue with Mia and Wendy? Oh, I guess the physical
About the
violence,
fight. Yeah,
I
but
want to
not
speak,
Candace and Monique. A
I
lot of
want to
people
speak
made
on
the
that
same
when you finish your
statements.
super chats.
And I
Okay.
said something.
I think that might be the last. Oh no, we got more. Okay. So yeah, keep that in mind. Q, the content guy. Thank you, Feel Good, for the super chat. Q is going to address that. Let's see. Oh, hey, Gabor. Gabor's right. We got almost 500 people in here, but we only got like 200 some likes. Definitely hit the like button. Bucky came up on the panel, but she dropped down. Bucky, hit the link. I wanted to hear from you. Succeeding says Robin being called out after 5+ years. Every what is it? Every cow gets their turn. What's that? What's the saying? Every horse gets their turn.
I don't know.
Dog gets the day.
One of the
Every dog
animals.
It was Patron tonight, y'all. It's been a long day, and it was Patron tonight. Thank you, Feel Good. Thank you, Succeeding. I think we had one more. Okay, yeah. Evil Angel says, then we would have had trouble with who they brought in. We have to take some responsibility. That's going back to what Pretty Black Girl said. So can you hold that one? And you can answer that. You can retort, Pretty Black Girl, as soon as I finish my super chats. Is this Prissy B? Hey, Mims, I want to join. The space is full. I will keep dropping the link, and you are more than welcome. Thank you for the super chat. L'Oreal, thank you so much for the super sticker. Thank all you guys for supporting my channel. I really appreciate it. Drop the link. You know what?
Did he call you a cow?
Yes. Let me drop the link. Every cow has their day.
Yeah.
Okay,
You were
Q, you were going to answer
saying all
that.
those animals.
Q, you were going to answer that question.
So I think so I said this on my channel, I said this on the board's channel, I said this on Curve's channel. The issue that people are having with the whole Wendy situation is, and it was me, Natasha, and Kai. We were on Kerr channel, and I forgot the person's name, but she really broke it
Prosperity
down.
thick girl.
Yeah, because she really broke it down in a way that I didn't see it, because I was all about violence.
She went on like every single level of
like
what
she broke
happened.
it down, because the way that I first looked at it was like, oh, you throw a drink on me, we shutting the restaurant down, production is over with. I'm snatching phones, I'm snatching, I'm slamming food, we doing everything. But then she really broke it down, and I understood it better, because it's like,
hold on, guys. Hold on, Q. Hold on. This might be me. Let me go ahead. You guys are gonna see me drop down. Just for a second. I'm gonna try to get the connection better. Yeah, I'm gonna drop down. Y'all don't do nothing crazy while I'm gone.
We got
I trust y'all. Okay.
Drop down and get your eagle on.
Everybody said the sound is fine.
I swear to God, Richie, every time he says drop down, in my head I hear get your ego on. And I have to like stop myself from saying it.
But yeah, like I was all about we windmilling, we doing all that kind of stuff. But the difference with Monique was when Monique popped Candace upside the head, because it wasn't a real fight, they end up taking Monique out of the room and removing Candace out of the room and putting everybody in the car for everybody to go home that night. Wendy got a drink thrown on her for no reason, and she had to come back and sit at the table and film with the ladies
and got hit over the head by a purse.
And then continued to argue.
Yeah.
Got hit with a purse. It then had to continue to film while they're sitting there eating dessert in front of her. Nobody's taking it serious after everybody finished eating.
But you said she had to, but she didn't have to.
But she did have to, because nobody escorted them out. The way that Monique and Candace had got when the fight was over, everything was over with. They stopped.
All hell broke loose.
Right.
You know?
So, but
there was blood also. There was blood.
Sit in it. She had to sit in it and continue to deal with it. And then for you to get to the reunion, and then in Mexico, you lied and said, "Oh, well, you said something homophobic." No, I didn't. I just talked about what you and your husband do behind closed doors. I didn't talk about I didn't say your husband was gay or anything like that. So you still didn't address the situation that you threw a drink on me for no reason, and you try to hit me with your purse. And then you get to the reunion, and you got watered ankles and neck sitting over there talking about well, I don't like her. Just because you don't F with somebody, don't mean that you can't say, you was wrong for throwing that drink on her for no reason. Because if Wendy would have went back and punched me in the mouth.
I'm sorry, Q. Hold on one second. So what's happening with the connection is because the panel is full and people are trying to get up, it makes the connection a little shaky. So on my end, I can see what they're saying. It's kind of going in and out. So I'm going to start kind of like revolving the panel a little bit, just so we can get as many people in, just FYI.
So then you got Giselle sitting there talking about, well, I don't like her. Well, that don't mean that you can't say Mia was wrong for throwing a drink on her for no reason.
But she's not going to say it if she don't like her.
But that's the point that everybody's had. That's the problem that everybody's having.
She's okay with violence.
Right. She wasn't okay with violence when it came to Monique, but she's okay to violence when it comes to Wendy. You gotta
because she doesn't stand on anything.
No. Exactly. And then the issue that I had with Candace with the whole situation was this supposed to be your girl, your homegirl, Wendy, right? The one that took your side, who brought you onto the quote unquote brought you onto the show, who took your side when the whole Monique and Candace situation happened. But then when you found out what happened to Wendy, you stayed in the house.
Right.
You didn't go over there. You didn't go over there with Wendy. You didn't say, no, Wendy, come to the restaurant. Wendy do this, Wendy do that. You didn't check Mia. You didn't check Robin. You didn't check any of them. You talked your mess in the confessional like you always do. But you sat mute with them and didn't have anything to say. But Wendy's supposed to be your girl, though, right? Wendy's supposed to be the girl that have your back. So that's another reason why I can't rock with Candace the way that I want to sometimes, because of stuff like that.
But does Candace really like Wendy? Because I have a feeling she doesn't really like Wendy like that. She just
I don't think she. But I think Candace. I think Candace is a pick me, because for you to say Rob was your big bro and you look up to your big bro and you still want to have conversations with Giselle and you still want to be in Giselle's presence after Giselle has pretty much tried to meet your husband and all those. And then Robin embarrassed you down to the restaurant and put the table out. It's like, what?
They all have insecurity issues.
So when I rotate the panel, does anybody mind dropping down? It's
I have
not
a
a
point about
requirement, but does
Wendy.
anybody mind? Because the backstage is like extremely full, and it's
I'll drop
knocking
down.
me
Get
out.
that you go on. I'm just kidding.
Mims, I've only got 3 things to say in that and leave.
No, jump in, Lord Karma. I'll drop the link.
I want to make a point. I'll drop
Hi.
down.
Lord Karma, go ahead, jump in.
Hi.
Oh my God.
First of all, I like the representing the House of Bryant in full clothing yesterday, Mims, as you do.
You representing the house of who? Darion?
Giselle Bryant, House of Bryant.
Oh.
The outfit you had on yesterday.
No, my
House
outfit
of
was
Bryant,
good, though.
Giselle's surname. You know, you biggest star on the show. I've got 2 other things to say. It's like one can be controversial, and the other one I thought was kind of disappointing. First of all, for me, looking at it, I think I picked up on some colorism, and I'll tell you why. The moment they started talking about the subject, these are all women, bear in mind, grown women, 30s upwards. Candace called it out. She even got a phone out and read what colorism is. She made the examples of what it was. Now, these women trying to rebut her all the time. Now, they weren't listening to her. Karen said the exact same thing. You couldn't hear a pin drop. And they listened to Karen. That is a form of colorism. They were ignoring Candace. I'm sorry, that's how I see it. And they listen to Karen.
I see what you're saying. So you're kind of saying that in this particular instance, Candace had the floor and they kind of like shunned her. Meanwhile, Karen says something and automatically, the stage listens.
Yeah, and everyone listens.
But Candace wasn't making a definite point. She kept like veering off.
That crying thing got to me. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna lie. When she was talking about the crying, I was like, what?
And she wasn't really driving the point. She wasn't really driving the point home, and that's why Giselle was like, "What?" Even though that was rude, Giselle didn't want to, hear or whatever. But Candace wasn't driving the point home. Karen made a more concise point, if you will.
What's good, everybody?
Hey, good boy.
To me, I feel like Karen. To me, I feel like Candace can't make a. If Candace cannot be adult enough and mature enough to admit that it was colorism that went on with Monique, then we don't even need to have the conversation.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Can you explain it more?
Because Monique, Robin is the most aggressive person on the show.
Rob.
She was the most aggressive person on the show, yet she still wants to go around and say that Monique is a bad representation of Black women and all of this other type of stuff that she was saying at the reunion this time. You know what I'm saying? But if we can't agree that it was colorism that went on with Monique, then we don't need to have the conversation. I felt like Candace was trying to make it seem like everything that she does was right. That she is.
That's true.
No, yeah, I agree. And I feel like, no, I'm going to sit here and actually change my mind.
Oh.
Because
the boy's changing mind?
Yes, I'm going to change my mind because he brought up a really, really good point when it comes to, because I had forgotten about Monique and that whole umbrella scene and how she's talking about, Robin is talking about people's look in their eyes. Meanwhile, that lady, when she gets upset, she has the fiercest look in her eyes, and she approaches you like she's about to fight you. I know, I fought before, and it's like you walk up to somebody because you're ready, you're gone already, you're ready to do something, and of course someone wants to hold you back and she's acting as if, oh, that's not an issue. That's an issue. That's a problem. And yes, it's kind of like you match the walls, so you're kind of like not seen. Your behavior is not as seen because you blend in a little bit more, and it's like Candace and Monique going off and all of that, like the fact that Candace is not holding Robin accountable for that and saying that you were almost invisible when you acted, very fiercely and very like aggressively towards her, and acting as if now it's a problem because it's coming towards Candace. That's an issue. I'm gonna have to admit that. That's an issue.
Well, I guess she was in Ashley's face also.
Yeah.
Oh, Bucky, jump, Bucky. Now, Bucky,
Can I ask
I'm
a
gonna say this,
question?
Bucky. Hold
I
on
was
one
gonna
second, good
say,
boy. Bucky, you gotta just throw elbows to get in with this group. You can't be quiet around here.
I was
So
just
No,
jump
trying
in.
to give
I
everybody
see.
their chance to speak too.
Yeah,
Bucky,
that's
no, you gotta.
Well, I really want to go next. I've been waiting to say something about Wendy.
Me
Jump
too.
in.
Oh, yeah.
You go
the
ahead.
Go ahead.
last thing.
No,
Okay.
the girl, whoever was just
I'm
talking, she
sorry.
can go.
The guy Q made up a really good point when he made that how we can't really see the correlation between Monique and Wendy. I'm sorry, Monique and Candace as opposed to Wendy and Mia. During that time, I think a lot of us seen Candace baiting Monique the entire season. And
What?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I saw
and
that.
she
I was
was
gonna say
baiting
that.
Monique.
She's
And it was
she's like a
very
needle. She needles
like
you.
she
I
did,
feel
and she
like
was
Monique was dating
contradictory.
her.
Okay,
You gonna
Monique.
drag me? You
Candace
gonna
walked
drag
away all
me?
season.
See,
You gonna
but
Candace walked
drag
Candace
me?
away.
and
I'm
guys,
not through
Hold
my
on, we
call
got.
yet.
we're
I don't know your
friends.
name. I can't see. Are you Bebe?
I am BB. I'm sorry.
I'm
Hi,
sorry, BB. You got. Go ahead and continue your thought, ma'am.
okay. No, so and here's the thing. It was just contradictory because what we saw was kind of like a sister element between the two friends. They did their little banter, they had their little arguments, but then it was love. At that scene where they got super chaotic there, Candace, I agree. We shouldn't put our hands on nobody. But at the end of the day, you came from where we came from. Stop telling somebody that you're going to drag me then and then not expect to get dragged. I know a lot of
She
people
did
use.
not come from where we came from.
Yeah,
She's from the country club.
well,
And
I'm
that's
just
the
saying. I
problem.
know
Her
it
being from the
sounds
country club and not
cliche,
knowing how to use her mouth correctly in her context. That's her
well,
problem.
I don't think
and
she
then
was
that's
used to
why her
arguing with black
colorism.
women. I don't
It,
think she's used to arguing with black women.
and her colorism topic doesn't land there either because whereas you were so high and mighty during that season, now you're crying at the table talk about something she triggered you. Your mom slapped you growing up. You ain't that triggered. It's not that deep.
You
So
pulled a knife out on Ashley. You wasn't
and it
triggered.
was a butter knife. You're not that. You're not like that. So either you got to pick a side. Now, what I will say is, Candace came this season. She was using her words. She was saying her reads,
So,
all that kind of stuff. But sometimes her topics just don't land. So I did think that that guy Q brought up some real good conversations. I'm going to drop down and give someone else a chance. I enjoy listening to you guys talk back and forth. Have a good show, you guys. I'll be in the chat.
Thank
All
you,
right.
BB.
bye. Have a
And
nice night.
you are more
Okay,
than
now I
welcome.
want to
This
say
was your.
Okay, I was gonna
something
This was
say,
your. Hold on one second. This was
about
BB's
Wendy.
first time up here, so I hope we made you feel welcome.
Yes.
You got to throw an elbow or two to get in where you fit in around here. But definitely come back up, BB.
I will, and no worries
Okay.
about that. Sometimes listening to you guys go back and forth, it does jog a few more memories in the show that we forget about. So just like that girl said, I kind of got to change my mind. Sometimes we get like that because we forget about different episodes. But I'll be in the chat, guys.
Richie, you go ahead and jump in, and then I got to read some more super chats.
Right,
Okay,
Mel. Can you
so
highlight? Hold on, Mel. Can you highlight Cockneil's comment?
Okay,
Cockneil.
is it towards the bottom?
Yeah, towards the bottom.
Okay, let's see.
It starts Cockneil like or Cochineal. I Cochin. Cockneil.
Okay,
Cochineal.
also Candace, this one. Also,
Mm-hmm.
Candace pretends like she came from the hood when it's time to read, which in itself is a form of colorism. But in fact, she comes from privilege herself and doesn't get it.
100%.
Thank you.
Ooh.
Well, I don't think that's. I don't
so
think
I
that's
just
a form
want
of colorism. I think Candace is a classist. I think it's a form of her elitism. I don't think it's a form of her color. But I was gonna say I agree and disagree with Gabor. I think Candace was being subjective about her conversation on colorism. It was just about how what she experienced, but she was also being dishonest because she didn't want to call any of the women colorist. But if they exhibit colorist behaviors, then they are indeed colorist. And then I was gonna say I never wanted to pay attention to the colorist conversation because I didn't feel like it was genuine because to talk about colorism on Potomac, you have to talk about colorism from the inception of the show, from season 1 until now. You cannot just talk about it from season 6 and season 7 or from season 5. It's from the beginning of the show.
that's since how long these women have been doing it. They've been participating in it. And I'm not gonna I can't be upset at Wendy for not speaking, especially when you know this is a topic, especially when you guys have already been offered a vote to have a moderator and they said no, you've been outvoted. You already know that this women are not going to listen to anything that you have to say. Why waste your breath?
Bucky,
Okay, so
Bucky,
I
I want to ask you this. I don't know how many of you guys saw my video earlier where I kind of reviewed something Carlos King had said.
Girl.
It was something I didn't pick up on. And I'll start with you, Bucky. When he said that all of the dark-skinned girls were treated away except Charisse, and it might be because Charisse was the one who put the show together, and Charisse had a foothold on Potomac as a whole. Like Charisse was that girl. She was the one with money.
Oh my
She was
God.
the connection.
Can I be honest? I think they tolerated Charisse.
Right.
Yeah,
I
so
think
it
because
wasn't
he had access and
right.
money and connection.
Yes. So yes, I
Let you
completely
go.
agree. I think the person that they chose in the beginning to show like their colorism and anti-blackness towards was Katie, and I couldn't take up for her either because she had her own anti-blackness problems and things that she said. So I side-eyed all of them. Honestly, after the first season of Potomac, I'm actually shocked that I stayed watching throughout the rest of the seasons because I was irritated by every single woman on the screen.
Well, it's good you stayed because now you have us.
Oh.
Right, it is true because I have seen
I feel like
of different people
hold on.
who saw
Richie,
it.
your girl, your hitter is gonna beat both of us up if you jump in.
No, go ahead. I got a question.
I feel like we keep saying that the two dark skinned girls were treated so badly, but I kind of look at it a different way. I feel like with like if you go back to Wendy saying, "Oh, Monique was a bad representation of Black women," and then even Andy telling Candace she's a disaster on social media, I feel like this season they were turned down. So you have this instance where Wendy is being assaulted by Mia. You have your colorism, you have your light skin, you have all these different optics and things in play, but she wants to represent for be cool, calm, and collected, be a Black woman who's representing all Black women, and she didn't react ghetto, or she didn't get ratchet, she didn't fight on camera and all of that, and look what she got in return. She expected a payoff from that, and her payoff was that they basically kicked her while she was down. Nobody protected her. Nobody.
But you can still stand on the truth. That don't mean
But they just grinded in even more. They treated her even worse. That she put her guard down. I guess maybe she expected. But for her not reacting, maybe I don't know what she expected, but it's not what she got.
I
And
think she didn't tell the truth. She didn't tell the whole truth.
Is that her fault, or is it the people? Of course the people are the people who are doing it are assholes, Giselle and Robin. But it's just interesting to me that so we have the other side of it where we're not acting ratchet, and what's the payoff? She, we're sitting up here saying, but she didn't speak up for herself, and she should have did this, and she should have did that, and it's like, I don't know. It's an interesting dynamic. And I don't, you know what I'm trying to say?
I agree. I agree to a certain extent. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I'm not blaming her or anything like that. I'm just making an observation.
I mean, what's the payoff for standing up for what's right? Like, does it?
No, she
have to be a
didn't
payoff?
stand up for herself. My point is, she didn't stand up for herself at all.
Well, she didn't tell the truth. All she needed to do
with
was tell the truth. When he asked her, "Do you feel like people are colorist in this cast?" She should have said yes.
I'm not talking about colorism.
No, I think she's talking about
standing up
the
for
when they got to
herself.
the fight and stuff.
Standing up for herself in this fight, and just fights in general, and then the difference between the fight between
should
Mia
she have
and,
fought back?
Yeah, but
She
I was
did
gonna
not-
say
Candace
She
fought
did
back.
not get,
Wendy
but no, she
didn't.
didn't get anything from the cast, but she got the ultimate payout because the fans are with her. The fans are
True.
saying,
And
Yeah, I mean, so
and
I
not
you know
just
what?
that,
You're
but
right
Wendy
because
herself looks
you're
different
right
for
because the
everyone.
fans couldn't stand Wendy with the whole 4 degrees and the whole superiority thing, and she kind of turned. She got a lot of supporters from that, honestly. So you're right.
I have a question.
Gabor?
Do we?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think
he's
that
about
it's
to come with some
unfair
shit.
to call. I think it's unfair to call. I don't think that you have to like Wendy to not be considered color. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's getting dangerous, right? So now that the girls don't like Wendy, Wendy said some stuff about them. Wendy basically got on Twitter, read everything that people were saying about Giselle and Robin on Twitter. She said it to them. They don't mess with her no more, and so they don't want to mess with her no more because of it. Is it fair to call them colorists now? Like, because they don't want to because they don't want to be around her and they don't like her.
Gabor brings up a good point.
It's like Wendy was welcomed. Wendy and Candace was welcomed by those girls when they first got on the show. They did something. She did something that they didn't rock with. I think that we could call Giselle a mean girl, but just because she doesn't like a darker skinned woman, I think that's dangerous to just go out there and say, "Oh, she's a colorist. She's a colorist."
But it's
Right,
not
but not
just her
addressing
not
the
liking
issue
her,
when
it's
she
the
knows that
behaviors
that's an
that she's
issue.
participated in over the years.
But that comes.
It's not
But if
just
you
one
know,
thing.
but
Yeah,
if
but
you
then
think
acting like
about
that's not an
Giselle, though,
issue, and like the just overall attitude of being dismissive, and over the whole.
But
But
could it
it's kind
just
of
be
like
that she's a mean girl? Could
yeah,
it be
she's
that
a
she's a mean girl and
but
she
you
thinks
can
that she's the
you can
shit and
still
she walk
relate. You can
around
still
with her
relate.
head in the air and not think about what other people got going on? That doesn't mean that she's a colorist, though.
I agree with you, but at the same time, not relating to the issue of because Ashley doesn't think she's colorist either, but she tried to relate in some type of way. And I think that the issue was that you can kind of sense with Giselle that she didn't give a fuck. I mean,
There's no
she
room
didn't
for
care.
empathy with her.
She didn't
to
care.
Gabor's point, the thing about Giselle, and I don't believe Giselle is a colorist, because if you know Giselle, if you're from the area and you know Giselle, she's always been this person. It doesn't matter if you white, blue, brown, pink, purple. Giselle has always been a person. If you're not kissing her ass, she's not going to rock with you. If you do something against her, she don't rock with you. So
That still doesn't mean that she doesn't exhibit colorist behaviors.
But I don't. But I do
I
not.
don't think
I
that
don't think she's
people
a
put
colorist.
that on her because the way that she shows up in the world. I don't think that that's
can
fair
be
to
true. She
do.
can be a mean girl and she can also be a
Gabor,
colorist.
to her point, even if you're not a colorist, right? And somebody, your boss, says, let's talk about it, and you choose to move on from the conversation, what are you exhibiting there?
What conversation though?
The conversation was, is there a colorism issue? How do you feel about it? Giselle's exact words were, can we move on from this? I'm glad I'm ready to move on. The point is, you do have a dark ex-husband and you have brown-skinned daughters. The conversation could be had. What she's saying is there something underlying there? And that's a fair question, because even if you aren't it and you aren't exhibiting it to yourself, you could still ask the question, well, do you see anything in me? Or why do I get this rap? Why shut down the conversation? You are the, you're the free, what was her dad, a freedom? Or was her grandpa
Her dad was a civil rights leader. He tried to
her
run
dad
against
and the
Barbara
grandpa.
Jordan. Mm-hmm.
The dad and the grandpa were both civil rights activists.
Mm-hmm.
May I tell a quick
to her
story?
point, do you see something there? Why try to shut down the conversation? Even if you feel you aren't colorist, why not let the floor, like, why not allow the conversation to be had?
But I'm sure the conversation was more than the 2 minutes that they showed. Right. And
well, now that's conjecture. We're just going based on what we saw. And what we saw was Giselle was the one that said, I'm glad this is over.
Right.
So there's something to be said, but Gabor does have a point. We can't just say because a light-skinned person doesn't like a dark-skinned person, it's automatically colorism.
Because why didn't that conversation start when the seasons first start, when the show first started? Because the colorism conversation with Giselle has just started. It didn't start season 1 where everybody was like, "Oh, it's colorism." It almost feels like.
It started with me season 1 when she told Katie, "You over there rocking that Jackson 5 afro."
People probably not
started
what
to me.
I'm getting ready to say, but I felt like, you know how everybody gets that word and everybody wants to all of a sudden use that word. So now the word is colorism. right?
Okay, so
So
because
now
I
we're
never
going to say
heard the
that
word for it,
I don't know.
it
I don't know if it's
so,
colorism or pretty girl
so
privilege.
now
I
we're
don't
going
know
to say that Giselle is a colorist. I don't believe. Again, I'm going by stuff that I know about her. I don't believe that Giselle is a colorist. I just believe
Okay.
she's a nasty individual.
Okay, well, we
Gabor
don't
Q is
know
gonna
anything
give me
about
an
her because we
interview
don't live
with
around there. We know what we
Jamal's
see
first baby
on
mama.
TV.
Well, can I tell a quick story and then I'm going to drop off for someone else?
I'll probably get you an interview with
say,
with her makeup person.
Meet and Autumn in LA is going
I
to
live-
one of Lisa Vanderpump restaurants when he come down here.
I live in well, right now I'm living in Georgia, but I used to live in the DMV, and I actually saw the DC people shooting and remember DC Housewives, that was horrible. Anyway, and then but I had seen Charisse at the DMV, and I was like, I told her, do not trust Giselle.
Was
And
she
I
working
asked her,
there?
are you going to get back on the show? And she said, I don't know. She didn't say much, but she also.
I said, was she working at the DMV when you saw her?
No, she did. She was not working.
I'm
No.
so dead.
She was not working at the DMV. No, she happened to walk in just like everybody else, and to handle her business. But I saw her from a distance, and I approached her, and I, what do you call it? Told her, do not trust Giselle. Like, I'm a fan or whatever. Do not trust Giselle. But she just kind of looked at me and was kind of like smiling or whatever. I also met Katie right before she was about to like season 1 was about to come out. We were at a trampoline park in Gaithersburg, and she was with her mother and her twins, a boy and a girl. And she looked really, really nervous. And I didn't know anything about her coming out on this show at all. It was like a mommy and me jumping class or whatever with the kids and whatnot. And I just remember her being like relatable, a very nice person, like a regular human being, but just very nervous. And her mom, you could tell, is like the boss. Like she doesn't want to disappoint her mother. Her mother seemed to be kind of like having her hand in it. Remember that guy that she was also engaged to before, the white man? Mm-hmm. He was there also.
The one missing the digit?
Yeah, the one missing the digit. He was there also, and we were actually planning on doing a play date together. And I saw her again, but at the same space, and then I didn't see them much. But she just looked nervous, and I think that. And after I saw the trailer, we happened to see each other, and I told her, "Hey, I saw you on TV. Like, are you okay?" But she just looked really nervous. But she just seemed like a nice person. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you. Like, I've had some down moments, and you've definitely helped, bring the spirits up. And thank you guys. Thank you everybody for your opinions and thoughts, and thanks for sharing. Thanks for having me.
Well, no, thank you, and definitely come back up. I appreciate new blood. I appreciate. Are you a newer subscriber?
Yes, I'm a newer subscriber. It's my first time ever doing this in general.
Oh, okay. We love that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love the fact that you had some counterpoints. So definitely come back up. Maybe Tuesday after the reunion, I'll do this again for you guys. Because those 2-hour Sunday night lives, that's a killer.
Yeah.
But thank you. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
I got to do some super chats, guys. I have to. Miss D Green, she says, Wendy and Candace need to link up with Candy on how to set the boundary and hold Bravo accountable. How many times do they need to see they're not respected? Enough is enough with Giselle. Now, Miss D Green, some would counter you that when Candy went to Bravo, it didn't really do much.
What did she go to Bravo for?
She went to Bravo and asked that there be more people of color on staff and in production. And now I'm not saying I don't value what she did. I'm just saying what people might say, Miss D.
Also, I don't see, especially on this show, I don't see them going to production about anybody on this cast, especially Giselle, that going over well, because they protect her. Like, she is number one. Maybe not after this season, but even with her, what she said about when she was talking about how she was in surgery and she like looked to Andy and she was just like let's move on now. I feel like even her being comfortable enough to say that, I'm like, oh, okay, like, yeah, like she is used to having a privilege. She is used to having like a special treatment on this show. So I do not see them going to the producers and being like, hey, we need to do this, which it won't work. Not with Giselle. No, I don't see that happening at all. So
thank you, Miss D Green. And Megan, you're new as well, right? This is your first time calling in?
Newer. I've called it once before, like I forgot for what, but yes, new to panel discussion. So
okay, well, thank you. You know, again, throw some bows to get your points across, because this panel, you know, we're scrappy.
As I'm learning, yes.
Buddha Bell, she said, I tried to come on and studio was full, so that's my cue. I'll stick to the super chats. Thank you, Buddha Bell. Look, I will do a better job rotating. This was impromptu, so I apologize for that. On the next one, you know, maybe I'll send you the link early, Buddha Bell. I appreciate you. Keisha Bellamy says, this is a great discussion. So glad I made this live. Good job, panel participants. Everybody except Gabor. He called me a cow.
Okay, so
what Gabor?
Didn't drop until I called you a cow. but
You're going in and out.
I know something wrong with my mic. You tell me that my mic ain't connected.
That's all that Giselle.
Now you Giselle done took your mic out. Callie says Mia should have been sent home. Production needs to be called out. Exactly. Not only should Mia have been sent home, at the very least, space should have been made for Wendy to feel comfortable. Yep. They should have had multiple casts. If Mia and her could not be in the same space, then it should have been equal parts Wendy and Mia. They really dropped the ball after this woman got assaulted. She
and Wendy to go back to the same house that they were in to get her stuff. They didn't know. Nobody else had to do that.
Are we gonna blame my whole thing with nobody asked Wendy to try to be the bigger person? Wendy could have cried Karen. She's the one who said, oh, I did this so we can be good for the group, but they didn't care about the group. That's what I'm saying with her and Candace. It's like they always trying to be the bigger person when these girls can care less. They don't care about the betterment of the show when Giselle is having events and not inviting them to her events. So why should they have to?
It's the pick me. Even though you're doing me wrong, I still need to be part of this clique. I still need to be cool with these people for whatever the reason is. Because, like I said earlier, there's no way that you're gonna tell me that you're still cool with Roberto after he sat there and put that speaker on the table and called you out because he was in his feelings.
Question, y'all. I got a question.
Callie.
Don't get mad at me, Mims. I gotta ask though. I thought about this today at the gym. I got a question. What if Giselle didn't really have no hysterectomy and she just wanted to come up with something for a storyline? Because we didn't see her talk to no doctor. I mean, we saw Mia. I'm just saying we saw Mia talk to a doctor, even though with her little fake storyline, she probably gave the woman $300 under the table to say, hey, can you film with me real quick and say that I got something? I lied and told him I had the C word. And you tell me I got a rash. Then we got Eddie putting whatchamacallit on the gurney and willing her in. But we didn't get nothing from Giselle. Giselle ain't take us to no doctor visit. We didn't see nothing. So how do we supposed to know that she really got
She's the villain, so she was looking for sympathy points. That's very.
How do we know that she really had a hysterectomy?
That's a good.
Yeah.
I'm sure Robin wouldn't mind checking to see.
Oh my god!
Goodbye.
Hey,
Miss,
Autumn.
can you hear me? Hey, y'all. Hey, I'm gonna drop so Phil can come in. All right. I'm gonna drop down in the comments. All right. Bye, you guys.
Oh, thanks for coming up.
I was Mims. I think she got surgery by Mia with a flashlight. Because Giselle has no money. Anyway, the last thing what I want to say about that,
I wouldn't trust Mia to help me walk across the street, let alone with my private parts.
The last thing I want to say about it is the best storyline this season has been between Jacqueline and Mia, and yet they cut it. After about 5 minutes in, they cut it wasn't even 5 minutes, and they cut it for next week. I was just like, what is Bravo doing? This is the best storyline ever. The two sisters going at it. And this is the real situation where they actually falling out, not just some made up crap what the other housewives do. And they cut it. I was just like, Bravo, do better. Seriously, this is what you want, the juice. And you cut it. And one other thing, when someone says drag you either end up on RuPaul's Drag Race or you're eating dirt on the floor. So, Candace, you've got no excuse. If you say drag me, you're going to get dragged. That's it. Thank you, everybody.
Okay, thank you, Karma. I'll see you on Tita's channel.
But how all of a sudden Monique, the girl said drag me, she drags her, but when Robin said hit me, choke me with the umbrella, choke me with the umbrella and walk dead in her face, all of a sudden she wasn't doing the call and reply in.
Because Robin was too big for her.
Robin is a man. You don't. That wouldn't have been fair.
I feel.
Are we against men hitting women? That's not fair.
The whole Monique fight, the only reason why I'm on Candace's side in that fight is because that should have been Giselle's beating, and it always irks me that it went for Candace. They shouldn't have fought at all, but like it skipped Candace and it skipped Giselle and went to Candace. Whatever that was, it should have been for Giselle. And so that's whenever I look at it, I'm just like, it annoys me so bad because it's like it shouldn't have been Candace. It should have been Giselle.
People keep saying that, but Monique had been trying to get Candace to fight her for several episodes.
Yes.
That fight did not happen because of anything that happened in that moment. Monique was waiting for her moment. She was trying, she wanted to fight this girl. And I honestly think that Candace just triggers these women because Candace did not have to lay up with a man for money. I think that is a trigger for them. I really think that's what it is.
I agree with you, except for the last point.
No, I'm being serious. I think that's a trigger for them, the fact that Candace comes from the background that she comes from. I think that it might be on a subconscious level. They might not even realize what it is. But I honestly think that triggers them.
That's weird though, because now all of their children are gonna have generational wealth.
Exactly.
All of their children are going to be. Thank you, in my opinion. I see you're up here. Thank you for the super chat. And I think I got one more. Okay. Buddha Bell. I wanted to call in and I can't, but Gabor don't block me because I didn't call in today. Happy end of the day. Thank you, Buddha. I'm sorry. Does anybody who's been on the panel for a while mind dropping down?
Yeah, I'll drop down. I already spilled all my tea.
You gonna get me that interview with Jamal's?
Well, I think I should do the interview first, and then I can pass them along because you're not gonna be as messy as me. You will keep it professional.
That is true. All right, Q.
I think that we have to acknowledge that. I know that people don't like Candace, but I think that we do have to acknowledge that Candace walked away from Monique at least 4 times and apologized to Monique profusely before anything happened.
Feel good.
So,
the link is okay. Here we go.
Yes. Wasn't Monique trying to get the group to isolate Candace early on?
Tell the truth.
It's funny how those tables turn, because Monique was trying to ice Candace out of the group, the show, whatever, and then she ended up looking stupid.
But see, here's the thing.
Well, why do we always make excuses for Monique? I don't understand. Why is it always an excuse for Monique? She physically attacked the girl.
And also, Monique is like a 36-year-old married mother who physically attacked someone over a verbal argument where the girl was not insulting her. She was not insulting her kids. She was, I mean, if Candace was really this vulgar and saying all kind of nasty stuff, I would have got it. But what Candace was doing, that was not something to assault someone for. Monique was waiting for that moment. If you go back and watch that season, she wanted to fight that girl. And she never explained why. And so I'm thinking that it was a resentment because of Candace's background. I honestly think that's what it is.
I think Monique came on that show on the fight.
In your same token, then why did Mia attack Wendy?
We can't go down the.
Mia attacked Wendy.
No, I'm just saying.
Guys.
No,
one
get
second.
attention into how the
Callie, hold on 1 second. We cannot on this panel tonight do the play-by-play of Candace and Monique.
Okay.
We can't.
Don't worry.
I'm sorry. We can't.
As far as like Mia attacking Wendy, I think it was a few things. I think Mia wanted attention. She wanted a storyline. I think her and Robin sat up there and planned that mess. And I also do think that there is some underlying jealousy about Eddie. Wendy got a husband her same age. He's nice looking. He is successful. He loves her. His family disowned him for her. These women do not have that. These are old, bitter, jealous hags for the most part.
Oh,
and can I just say, I think that for that reason right there, I think that's why it wouldn't work. Where I know some people have been calling Candace and Wendy like pick-me's. I don't see it that way. I see them looking at this dynamic as like it is literally stacked against the both of us. Half of these people don't like Candace and the other half don't like Wendy. So if they link up, I don't see it as a duo. I don't see it as a duo the same as on like Beverly Hills with Sutton and Garcelle, where they're a duo and they can do that. I don't think it would be the same thing if they were a duo on this type of show in this type of dynamic, which is why I think Wendy saying, let's move on, that was a strategic move. I don't think she wanted to move on with Mia. Of course she didn't. She was like assaulted by this person. But I think she was like, I see that I'm being iced out. She was iced out anyway. And she was like, let's just do whatever, and we can move on. So like I can be invited to scenes. I think that's all it is. So it is jealousy. But like at the end of the day, I don't think that they could do I don't think they could do it alone. I don't. If they just said F the cast and it's just us, I don't think that would work at all.
But she didn't just do that. She was showing her pocketbook, and they were saying that they wanted to taste each other.
All of that.
So
I honestly,
It was the tequila, allegedly.
People call
I don't drink, but I don't think tequila make you get down like that now.
I can't see
I feel
people
like just
call
having a
Wendy and
conversation with
Candace.
Mia should come with a shot of penicillin.
Oh my God, Wendy Williams.
See, I can't stand when people call Wendy and Candace pick-me's because I think that they came to the show with a very different idea about how the dynamic was supposed to play out. I think that they came in expecting this traditional housewives sisterhood, whereas the OGs, when you think about the beginning of the Potomac franchise, it wasn't supposed to be a typical housewife show. It's supposed to be, I think it was a Jack and Jill type of situation. So they didn't come in with this sisterhood in mind. So with Candace and Wendy, and even Monique, trying to get in quote unquote good with the group, I don't think that that's them necessarily sucking up to the other housewives. I think that's them trying to play the housewives game and seek out that housewives friendship. But the other half
they
of
were
the cast
fools
is
because all
not.
the housewife franchises were messy as hell. And if they went in there thinking that they were idiots, they should have done their research.
No, but I watched the other franchises, but I kind of feel like on this show, there is not a real desire to have a friend group. And I think that is what this show is missing. I kind of feel like the ones that are really successful, these people on some level want to be friends with that person. Just like, I don't believe that those ladies on Beverly Hills hate Sutton and Garcelle. I think they actually want to be cool with them. They just sometimes don't gel. But versus on this show, you have people that are like, I don't like her. Like almost saying it with hatred. And I'm like,
they don't want to do what's best for the show. I think that Atlanta was so successful because the girls wanted to do what's best for the show. So if I'm having an event, all of the women are going to be invited because when we get all of us in the room together, it's real beef, it's real girls that don't like each other, and we gonna shade each other. Me and my girls coming in to go against you and your girls, and we're gonna shade each other. So Candy is gonna invite Kenya and Nene. And when Kenya try to invite Nene gonna pull back, girl. I don't mess with you. You know what I'm saying? So that's where you get the big moments in reality television because the arguments are real. You know what I'm saying? I don't like you, and that's fine, but we're not gonna ostracize you or ice you out. We're gonna keep you on the show so this can play out on television and we can see it.
I feel like low-key, like Candace, unless maybe you guys are seeing something different, like I feel like Candace and Wendy were actually trying, and we could say that it was stupid because maybe Candace was trying to be friends with Robin, who doesn't like her, and Ashley, Wendy is trying to be friends with Ashley, who also does not see her as a friend. But I feel like they were actually trying to create real friendships with these people. They just don't want friendships with them. So it's like, how do you create that kind of dynamic when like half the people, Giselle's going to be friends with Robin regardless. Those are the only two real friends. And then like everybody else, Ashley is for herself. Ashley is a friend to nobody. She doesn't have any loyalties or moral compass, in my opinion, with anybody. I think she's for self. And then like the others trying, I would even put Mia in there. I think Mia even probably wants to be friends with them, even if it's in a follower capacity. But the rest of them, it's just, they don't want to be friends with these girls. So it's like, how do you do that?
You treat it like a job and a paycheck. What you need to do is stop wanting these girls to be cool with you outside the show. You know what I would do? Okay, so we're going to have a shade fest. That's what Bravo wants. Perfect. That's what I'll give them. And then me and Chris will go on about our merry way and collect this Bravo check. All this stuff about Candace saying, oh, we need a girlfriend group. It's not these women. And you've had 4 or 5 seasons now to see it's not these women. And it's never going to be these women. They're going to be out for self. They don't really like you. They don't appreciate you. And technically, they don't really want you on the show after you expose the fact that they have meetings preseason and determine who is going to be iced out. They don't like you, Candace. They especially don't like you, Chris. So all that stuff, when I was listening to Chris's interview, I was actually getting hot at the fact that he was like, I'm going to have Giselle and I'm going to have Candace come up here and they're going to sit. I'm going to make them food and they're going to get along. Why? You don't have to.
Where was this?
Chris did an interview. And I did part 1 today. I recapped that interview on part 1. He dropped all kinds of tea. He dropped the tea about
the Bravos.
Bravos. Yeah. I shouted them out. Definitely. Richie
Chris is too involved. What's the name of it? See, Chris is too. Y'all let him slide. That's Patricia. That's Christina. Christina.
He talked about
being
doing
called
Patricia.
He was making
he
me
don't
mad.
care.
He was making me mad.
Like he's too involved. He's too emotional. Like
Well, he don't have a job. He doesn't have a job. This is his job. So,
like I understand him.
Hold on. I'm sorry. Hold on, really quickly. I promise you, I'll let you go. And in my opinion, I've never heard you be this quiet. I understood what Chris was saying. I like Chris. I'm saying, and I want to be as clear as possible with this. Candace and Chris are the same in the fact that they still want real friendships with people who do not want those friendships with them. That is what agitates me. Him thinking that Candace. What's up, Phil?
I don't think that it's. I think that it's different. I think it's a show job, and everybody else looks at it as a sorority. Like she's about her business and making drama for the show to keep her check, and they're looking at it as, oh yeah, we're gonna have this sisterhood and friend. Because when she did her interview with Carlos, that's what she said. Oh, I don't get offended by what they say. We're doing a job. So I think she has a business mindset towards it, and everybody else is coming into it with an open heart and like, hey, we're gonna be sisters and we're gonna have this sorority.
Well, no, you know what I honestly feel?
Phil, something's going on with your mic.
Is this better?
Somewhat, yeah. What were you saying, Callie?
No, I think the problem, I'm gonna be honest. The problem is the way that production has elevated Giselle on this show. Mm-hmm. And I think that they are giving the impression that in order to be on the show, they need Giselle's approval. Giselle should not even have the power to wield colorism. She ain't that girl. She's not Nene. She's not.
But that's my point. That's the point. That's the point. At what point are we going to hold the women accountable for how they view Giselle? Like Giselle said, if I ask them questions, they don't have to answer. They look up to Giselle because of the way she looks, because she's beautiful. Everybody wants to be friends with Giselle. Giselle is that girl, baby. We can't deny it.
Well,
she ain't got the money. She ain't got the money to go with it or the fashion sense. You know what I'm saying?
She ain't got period. She ain't got the beauty
Wait, that's
either.
not true because Karen and Giselle have fought for season after season. I know Karen don't look at Giselle that way.
Now, I'm glad you mentioned that because on my review, I'm telling you, I saw some things in Karen at this reunion, and it's like we see eye to eye. We're going to keep playing this game, and we're going to ride it out together. She is very nice to Giselle. She might go at her, and Giselle might go at her, and we think that they're playing it up, but that is not a real beef. I'm sorry.
Mm-mm.
The way
I
that
think that
if you
it's
go back to that last
production.
reunion, she was smiling at Giselle. Oh, you love me because you brought my daughter some little cheap Gucci bracelets. Like that
Child.
doesn't prove that you love somebody. You allowed this woman into your house after you were going through your darkest times, and she's trying to say that you can't afford the house that you're in by bringing a pizza. These women are in cahoots. Both of those women. Just saying.
But
But
do
I
you
feel
think Karen's kissing Giselle's ass though? Like she wants her to? I don't think
No,
so.
I think they have a mutual respect. That's why both of them are sitting next to Andy when Karen didn't deserve that seat this season.
I feel like Karen
and
is rubbing her life in Giselle's face because Karen has elevated and Giselle has steadily plummeted.
and Giselle has said way worse than Candy. Giselle has said way worse to Karen. And for her to be going to HR saying that she needs to get checked out instead of what she did to Candace. Giselle has done way worse. So that's not a real beef. She called her alcoholic. She called her a broken, you know what I'm saying? Like, and
Broken
Candace
down
is the
whore
one
from
survived.
Hampton University.
Yes, that went to Sing Sing. And she was sitting up there lying.
But I wonder if
that's why I don't understand why people keep saying that Candace has this foul mouth. Like people go on as if Candace is like this top tier housewives reader. Candace's mouth is middle of the pack. That's why I'm always so confused whenever people are like, or even when Andy is like reprimanding Candace at reunions or in interviews. Giselle is awful. Karen is awful. Karen told Ashley at one reunion that I think she needs to like go sell the restaurant that her and Michael had, and then that money to buy her mother a house to get her out of
that
the
was
tent.
a confessional.
She said that if Ashley keep on talking about her and her marriage, she gonna sue her for her restaurant and give it to her mama. Iconic.
She said it to her face. She said it to her face, and people will really go on Candace. I'm like, these people are awful women.
Ashley was wrong for introducing us to Sheila.
I think the difference in that is when Karen says these things on camera, Bravo approves it and they air it. When Candace is saying it off camera and she's saying, you know, her and Ashley are both saying vile things to one another, I think Bravo looks at it like the fans don't like it, so we don't like it. But anything that they put on camera, Bravo is okay with.
Well, I think that's why Karen calls HR, because that happened off camera. And I think Karen perceived it as a real threat versus we're just doing a show. I'm not saying that Karen's right.
Go to hell is a threat. That is the most Karen thing I've ever heard in my life.
No, I don't agree with it at all. I don't agree with that. I would not have done that. But I think in Karen's mind, she's like, well, we ain't filming. You really mean this. But
I'm going to HR on Gabor. I'm going to Google on Gabor for calling me a cow.
Karen
and it's stuck. And when you do, it's gonna be up in it's stuck. Look, ma'am. See, Nicole wrote in the chat. She said Giselle wore that free trade tax shirt. She didn't even have the money to get it professionally made. It was broke. It was broke shady.
Ironed on.
But that's the thing.
Thank
Like
you, Misty
Atlanta
Green.
normally has.
So she says Giselle lied. She's still offended by Wendy. Yeah, because Wendy's not in that mix. They probably come up with these reads together. Okay, what you gonna say about me, girl? Okay, well, I'm gonna come back with this. I really do think that they're in cahoots. Thanks, Miss D Green. And I cut somebody off. Who was talking?
Oh, that was me. I was just saying, like, the thing about Candace and even like in Potomac, right? Their reads aren't clever. They don't make you laugh. They don't really just, you know, they're not light. They're not airy. They're not fun. They're just so serious. And that's what it is for me with Candace. I love Candace's energy, like whenever something happens, because if you mess with her, you got to take whatever's coming back. It's just that I wish she would go like a lot smarter with it and make it like iconic the way Nene used to do.
Well, some of those people have their reads professionally written by comedians. That is a fact.
A fact where, Callie?
Yeah.
Phaedra Parks. That's a fact.
Yeah.
Parks.
Nene did have hers written down.
Well, she had them written down at the reunion, but she still shut that camera. She still shut the laptop. She lost.
But before even
and her job.
Yeah, I'm just saying that Atlanta has they were making more money on Atlanta. So it really is hard to, I think someone brought this up. They are not making the money that the people in Atlanta are making.
Callie, you don't need money to read though.
No. They were paying.
You don't think this shows money? That doesn't give you wealth?
Hell no.
That is not true.
That gives me total
a lot
clarity.
of those reads were written by professional comedians. That is a fact.
Mims.
I forgot to mention this. Me, Gabor, Jamie, that's me, and Rodney are going to be doing a panel tomorrow, 1:30 Central. Just kind of an overview on Potomac. So that should be pretty
that
funny.
should be good. And I get off work early.
Rodney the Voice.
Oh, I love him. I get off work early.
Whose
So
channel
grab a
is going to
drink.
be on?
It's going to be right here.
Okay.
Ooh, yay.
Yes, that's pretty good. Hey, Mims, I saw your video
We're
with
going to jump Gabor for calling me a cow. What'd you say? Now, if I call Gabor a cow, it would be a fight.
No, it wouldn't be. It was all in love. Move.
What were you saying?
Oh, I saw your blue dress. Loved it. You actually outdid Giselle with the diamonds. I feel like that was iconic. That should go in Andy's
yeah.
Watch what happens
That's
live.
literally what Giselle
And you
had
look
on.
better in it.
Some spandex workout material
Right.
in the front and some rhinestones. Like
That was not a dress,
literally
though.
what she's wearing.
It was a bodysuit.
It still looked better than her dress, so that's what matters. I just have a quick point to make, because I see a lot of people like, and I get it, like when people felt like when the whole Mia and Wendy fight, Candace didn't really speak up, and I agree with that. But also,
well, she also didn't see what happened.
She didn't see what happened, and yeah, that is true. She wasn't there when it happened. But also, I had a point to make because I feel like people are not picking this up. Maybe some people are, but when Giselle and Ashley were going after Chris, she didn't really speak up either.
I think that so I'm noticing
And she was
something.
cool. And one more thing, and she looped up Eddie into that mess with her lion-ass friend Deborah. And she played it cool or whatever, and I get that, and I understand maybe because she felt like Ashley was there for her in a way when the whole fight broke out. But like, to be honest, on the show, she didn't really speak up when they were going after Chris.
You mean Wendy?
Yes, Wendy.
You're talking about in the scene where Robin had jumped up in her face. Is that what you're talking about?
No, when they went to the winery thing, and when Ashley was slinging like stuff about when she first brought up that Chris was flirting with her friend. When they were in the wine scene, when she outed, I guess, one of her friends saying that he's a client for Michael Darby or whatever, Wendy didn't really speak up either.
Well, she rode in the car. Wendy rode in the car with Ashley on the way there. She was telling her about her kidney stones. So they rode in separate cars. It probably would have been an awkward ride on the way back.
No, but I'm just saying in that moment, because I'm like, okay, I understand people say, Candace, and I agree with y'all. Candace didn't really speak up with the fight thing, and I agree with that. But I'm like saying, I don't think people are really seeing that aspect too, because even though she came at Chris, the target was Chris, but she also lumped Eddie into that too.
Prissy B, I get what you're saying, but I'm thinking grand scheme, right? If they are shooting a scene, all of these girls kind of let the scenes play out. Now, at the reunion, you'll see Candace and you'll see Wendy having each other's back. But when they're actually filming a scene, when they were calling Karen a prostitute, nobody said anything. They just kind of they all laughed, right? If you go back season to season, anytime that this cast hurls accusations, very rarely, unless it's Robin and Giselle, does another cast member get involved. They completely let that scene play out. But you're right. She didn't speak up for. She did not speak up for Chris then. She did not speak up for Chris during the yoga stripper party. And bigger grand scheme, none of them do, and none of them will. Maybe you'll see them make a face. Karen is really good at this. Somebody will be saying really horrible things, and Karen will be,
but nobody.
I would
it
also
wouldn't
point
be.
out that like Candace and Wendy weren't before this season. Candy and Wendy weren't like, you know, two peas in a pod either. Like they weren't.
And
like,
that's the thing.
I don't think they like each other at all. They just
Well, I think, and that's the
They know
okay.
each other like that.
Well, I don't think that. Okay, so I don't think that Wendy didn't know when they was at the stripper dance class. Wendy, the girls didn't know what Giselle told her.
Yeah,
Candace left directly afterwards, and when Giselle walked out, Candace went off. Candace talked to Eric. I think that's his name, and she left directly afterwards. But Giselle didn't share with them what she had said, so it would be no place for Mia to. I mean, for Wendy to speak up for Chris. Yeah,
But-
and so at the winery too. But the thing is that I don't like is that we want to force a friendship between Candace and Wendy when instead of just letting them be. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing that people villainize. What's Will Smith's first baby mama, Cherie for because she didn't stand up the way that y'all wanted her to stand up. All of a sudden she was a fake friend. You know what I'm saying? When it was time for her to check somebody, you know what I'm saying? My whole thing is I can let you, if me and Mills are somewhere and Mills get into an argument with somebody, I'm gonna let Mills argue. But ain't nobody else gonna jump in, right? So I felt like in that case, Cherie, when Kyle jumped in, Cherie did what she was supposed to do. I don't understand how she's fake, right?
Oh, I definitely understand how she's fake because you're over here. You know that this woman then potentially did something to my son, and you posting happy birthday to.
Well, we're talking about on the show. On the show,
I mean, this factored in. It factored in. I get what you're saying, but there were things that she did off the show. She was posting pictures.
Issue with that.
Yeah, I think that I'm talking about I think that we have to judge by what we saw specifically on the show. We don't know. Garcelle is still talking to Erica Jane at this point, so she can tell her happy birthday, right?
Garcelle Jane, the other woman.
Who?
The woman who had all the money, but allegedly was a lady of the night.
Diana.
Okay, but we don't know that relationship. But what I'm saying is, on this show, when it was time for Cherie and somebody jumped into something with Garcelle, Cherie stood up for Garcelle and told Kyle, let them do it, right? And I think that, you know, Candace was handling Ashley. It was no need for her to jump in, you know. But I don't think we shouldn't have to force, because Wendy and Candace are the two dark-skinned girls on the show. We shouldn't force a friendship or an alliance between them. You know what I'm saying? If they're not that close, they're just not that close. That's what we want to see.
Candace introduced Wendy to us. Ain't that how they started?
And Ashley introduced Candace to us. And when Ashley and Candace got on their show, baby, Candace messed up the friendship because Ashley had Candace back like we ain't never seen before. Y'all don't want to talk about that though.
But
Don't get your boy started.
Ashley bought Candace in, right, baby, and they was going against the Green Eye Bandits.
That's what it was supposed to be.
No, this is why I think production has something to do with the way that Giselle is perceived on the set of that show. I don't think it's just the women out of nowhere just treating Giselle like she's up here. I think production has a hand in that because look at the way that she is presented on this network.
I don't know about that
I don't know
part.
if that was season one. Season one, I think that they all had equal footing and they all could have.
No, Candace was not even there season one. I'm not talking about season one. I'm talking about.
I'm talking about Giselle. I'm talking about. I mean, you're talking about how she's presented. I'm like, I don't think she was presented any kind of way. Season one, she was the one renting a house.
No, I'm not talking about
gave it to her.
I don't know how we got to season one.
I think she took power and they allowed her to have it.
Yeah,
and now she's running amok.
Us to keep. I think it's unfair for us to give production so much weight because even on Married to Medicine, Mariah had a EP credit, and the ladies paid her dust and kicked her off the show basically. So it's like it's something that it's something in Giselle. I don't know if she's like a major socialite in the DMV area. I was in the DMV area for a bit. I didn't hear anything.
I'm sorry. Like I do feel like
let her finish, y'all. Let her finish. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's something about the lady. It's something about Giselle or the ladies that, for some reason, they just want to gravitate to Giselle.
Yes.
it's weird. It's weird because Giselle's not that girl. Yeah, you know, she comes from a family that has some civil rights movement notoriety, but it's not like her father was MLK. But I don't know what it is. She doesn't have money, but there's just something that they want to be around.
She's beautiful.
No, but I think
Okay, that's what the girl's gonna be.
Her grandpa and father were civil rights activists. They were
I can
well
tell you
known.
she's
Her father
definitely
was
not a
one of the first black
socialite in the
men.
DMV.
Her father was one of the first black men on the Texas legislature. They are a part of history.
But I feel like you guys are doing too much
So
to
is
Giselle.
Portia's granddad?
One second. No, because listen, the scene when Candace walked out and called Eric for production, Wendy is an individual. Let's say they're not friends. Let's say they're mere acquaintances. Wendy did not get up out of her seat and at least check on why Candace left, bare minimum, right? And then for the most part, in terms of standing up for herself, I don't really buy. I like Wendy now, but I don't buy it all the way because Wendy goes on Fox News and chews up people for a profession, right? Why can't she handle these girls comfortably on her own? I feel like sometimes she plays into that. She placates the sympathy card sometimes. And because we don't like Giselle, we kind of don't really see it that way. We just go straight to attacking Giselle's problematic self versus holding Wendy accountable to stand on her own. She tends not to stand on her own. And I feel like that has more to do with her character than anything else on the show because she has it, right?
Yeah,
Can
but
you
I
give me
think
an
that
example of her not standing on her own?
when Candace left, I'm pretty
Like
sure,
when?
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, didn't Wendy ask her and she said she was coming back or something? I mean, I
No,
think that,
no, she just left abruptly.
but how are we supposed to, if we're here filming, I don't even know that you're about to leave. All I know, you're going to your car to get something. You know what I'm saying? It's like, how
But she stayed long enough to get like the hot mic moment that we didn't even care about Robin. So she stayed way after they had.
But I still have a check to work for. I mean, I get what you're saying.
Mhm.
I do understand what you're saying, but I think that we're putting too much on it.
You mean?
I mean, who's thinking that we're filming? Who's thinking that Candace is going to leave? That Candace is leaving filming? I'm probably just thinking that she's going to get something out of her car. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, my whole thing, you know, I don't need your help unless some bitches jumping on me. I'm sorry, ma'am, but I don't need your help unless some people jumping on me. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know all this coddle like getting in the corner. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
I know what you mean, right? But Gabor, if you walked out the door, I don't know what the reason you walked out the door is. After a certain lapse of time, I'm gonna be like, "Where's Gabor? Why Gabor left?" I'm gonna call you, right? Then I'm gonna figure out there's an issue because there's a basic.
Maybe she did.
There's no dynamic between Candace and Wendy, which is the reason why they come off kind of awkward. Wendy
They
does.
do a whole. They have a dynamic. I'm not gonna lie. I appreciated them at this reunion. Candace was throwing the ball and Wendy was alley ooping it.
Yeah, this
She
is
was
after
right
the
there.
fact, but they already filmed the show. During the filming of the show, it didn't come off.
Candace had her back. Candace was the only one that was like, "I'm not going to
don't
do this
either.
without Wendy.
Yeah.
We are going to go and see Wendy.
think-
Let's make time."
And then
I think
the whole reason the speaker, I'm not to cut you off, the whole reason Robin did the whole speaker thing because Candace didn't take her side.
yes, you're
when they
right.
did to Wendy.
See? Yes,
That's
you did.
right.
When Candace was over there crying and Robin was over there mad, remember?
Yeah,
when they was
because
at the
she
pool?
said that wasn't right, and she said it that wasn't cool. Why Wendy gotta leave? So that's why Robin said, "Oh, she was treating me. I didn't like how she was treating me." No, fool. She didn't
But
like.
Candace was wrong though. Candace was wrong for what she said on the IG.
But who carries a speaker in their tool bag to a dinner party with a bunch of
But
ladies?
that's the thing.
And she
You
had
can
a
have
speaker
streets
for
and
it too. She was on the
got
booth
streets
with
to
the
the
speaker.
blogs and everything, but you don't know what your husband is or roommate is doing. Okay.
Oh,
Right, but
okay, guys, really quickly, because this is a long live. I did a video and it was about Juan. So we're gonna talk about this before we close out. What do you guys really think happened at the laundromat? I'm gonna go out and say that it was, just two co-workers, but there's conjecture. So where do you guys stand with Juan and the lady? What are we gonna call her? Tide?
I don't
Game. They use game.
I don't understand why they were at the laundromat. They don't have a washer and dryer in their house.
They were down in Virginia. They were down in Virginia. They weren't there. They weren't anywhere. They were down in Virginia for a basketball tournament or a basketball game or something like that.
Yeah, in an
That's why they were at the
interview,
laundromat.
Ron was basically talking about how poor the school is and
Mhm.
how their athletic department has basically no money. So he would be washing uniforms and practice jerseys and stuff at their home. I think that they were just washing the team's laundry or something like that. I don't
But
think
no,
it was
that's not true because Coppin is not a broke school, and Coppin and where Juan was at and where Coppin is at is in two different states. So he was in Virginia.
But he did an interview saying how the basketball team had no money or maybe it was a comparison to other larger schools. But
To larger schools because Coppin is an HBCU, but it's not like a Howard. You don't know. If I see Coppin University, only people in the DMV, or I don't even know if the whole DMV, maybe the Baltimore area or DC area would know what Coppin University was. But they were in northern or southern Virginia when this picture was taken.
But I felt like
that means they were staying at a hotel. Don't hotels have laundry service? Why you have to go to a laundromat? I don't understand.
They were not staying at a hotel.
Where were they staying?
You hear me?
Yeah.
Where were they staying?
Yes.
Regardless of what they were doing, this man has been accused of publicly cheating on his wife. She's about to get fired off of her nationally syndicated TV show because of his shenanigans. If he doesn't have enough decency to tighten up, to not be seen with a woman in public, whether he's involved with her or not, just due to sheer optics, it's a problem. It's emblematic of the disrespect in their relationship. It is.
But he doesn't have respect for Roberto. So why would he care about her feelings?
That's what I'm saying. It's their relationship. You just got caught in a cheating scandal, so you're doing another one, even if it's not that.
Yeah,
let him do his thing.
It's still up for grabs. We're all gonna assume that this is the woman you're cheating with. Tighten up, dude.
I just don't think that this marriage can't last with Robin staying on this show. This man can't even go to a laundromat.
Yeah,
this man can't even go to. He just can't go to the laundromat, y'all. It's you know what I'm saying?
I really do think it was a laundromat. Sorry to cut you off. I really do.
Oh, you're fine.
I know
is
that
a
it
laundromat for
seems
sure.
but I really do feel like they were just watching the clothes, which is not out of which is not, coaches do that for the kids. I know someone said, why can't they just
They have assistants
they
to
do.
do that. They have assistants to do that. I'm sorry.
No,
the woman alleges that they weren't washing uniforms. They were literally washing their own clothes. They were on the road.
They were on the road.
I'm laughing because Rodney the Voice has been in the bushes and he had forgot. So he's now texting me talking about, okay, just to make sure that we were on for tomorrow. You never know who's watching. You're gonna send me this. Can you?
I was thinking that.
Can you see that?
Had your love. Yes, Kim Kardashian meme in the bushes.
I suspect one is gonna make Robin quit the show, or he's gonna divorce her. It's gonna be one or the other.
But it's not a real marriage. I don't know why everybody is forgetting that part. This is not a real marriage or a real relationship. Juan has been cheating on Robin since day one. He's been seen with plenty of women.
So you don't think there's a marriage license at all?
Nope.
I don't.
Yo!
Hold on 1 second. Thank you so much, Nandy, for the super sticker. I appreciate that. Thank you for supporting the channel. DGF627 says the Real Housewives Edit channel does an excellent job of breaking down the narrative of power of productions, edits, music, and selective flashbacks. I'm gonna have to check that out. Is that on Insta? The Real Housewives Edit, or you'll think that's Insta? Probably not Twitter, right? I'll check it out. And I got one more from Nandy. She says, you don't know what production left out as far as Wendy not asking or saying anything to Candace. Okay, that's fair.
True.
We definitely don't know. We just know what we saw, and it looked like Wendy stayed in a room with a woman who tried to accost her instead of going after her only friend on the show.
Hey,
Hey, Nance, I want to say just two things before you end your
oh, what's
live.
up?
Hey, everybody. Okay, here's my two things.
We staying all night, baby.
Here you go. See, there you go. My first thing is, if Candace don't boss up next season, I'm gonna have to be off the Team Candace train. After sitting in it in the reunion, I didn't like the way. I hate to say it, y'all, but she did give me a little bit of pick me. And I know in the chat, I know y'all saying she didn't, but she did. And I didn't like it. I didn't like it. Team Candace, I'm gonna give her another season. I'm gonna need her to boss all the way up. That's my first thing. And the second thing I want to say is, you do not bring a gun to a knife fight. Meaning, you fight words with words. If you can't get down with somebody coming for you with their words, then that's on you. Nobody should have to be responsible to hold a grown ass person back or be trying to be all upset because they can't handle the heat you're giving them with your mouth. I actually had a change of heart on that because I am from the hood, and if you say something, we throw down. But
We fight
now,
first before we ask questions.
but actually, like honestly, you guys, now just me being older, we're not about to do that. I ain't about to be on nobody's camera, on nobody's social media, nobody's YouTube. I have a kid. It's a bad look. And honestly, what's her name? What's her name? Wendy didn't say anything really, really bad to even warrant for Mia to do what she did. That's just my opinion. Don't crucify me for it.
I agree because Wendy said all the same stuff. I mean, Mia said all the same stuff about laying it low and spreading it wide with G. So why that struck an accord with her? And I really don't like her throwing out that Peter slept with Wendy.
Lying.
That was just stupid.
I love how they just skipped right past that.
It was a way to get the heat. It was a way to get the heat up off of her.
I believe it.
Did Peter speak on
Where
that?
was her proof at Gabor? Mia just
They didn't. Wendy was trying to overtalk her, so she wouldn't show her receipts.
No, she did say,
I
"Oh, I
had no
saw it on the
receipts.
camera in the restaurant." That's what she said.
Yeah,
Peter
And she
probably
said
has
that
worms.
No, I'm playing, y'all. I don't believe that. I'm
if
just
she
playing,
did,
y'all, because
Peter
y'all say
would-
I'm colorist.
Peter would tell everybody if that's what happened for real. I feel like Peter
Yeah.
would have said something by now.
Yeah, Peter talks
He
a lot.
really did.
But Peter
I
said
don't
that he
think
only got.
it's just
Peter said that he
has
get
to know
dimes. So I don't know about Wendy. He said that he dates some of the baddest women you ever seen. So I don't know.
Oh please.
But
But
that's what he
they call you a
said.
colorist. They call you a
had
colorist
Neil.
anyway.
Look,
I
they
know,
say whatever.
I know.
But I got two things to say. I forgot what I was gonna say, Chill.
Can I say real quick and then I'll shut up? I agree with what Gabor and
Oh,
Kylie said
I
earlier.
said, I know what I said. I know what I was gonna say. Mims, today is the 28th of February. So you and Q the content guy need to get y'all contacts together and see did Ashley file for divorce or is she staying for the kids? That's gonna be her storyline next year. She said that she had until February to file, and today is the 28th of February, and she didn't file.
Mims will be on it. I ain't.
So
Let me.
that's gonna be her. That's gonna be her storyline next
Jamal's
season.
baby mama, the first one. Ashley's.
But you're not going to ask the right questions with the baby mama. You need to ask.
Think that I won't?
This is what you need to ask. You need to say, did Giselle walk up to you in a church parking lot and punch you in the mouth over Big D Jamal?
Is it big? Is that what they saying?
That's what they saying.
He has to, ma'am, she got the interview?
No, wait, no. Q. Okay, so if you're just coming in, Q dropped some gems.
Right.
He said that Giselle stole Jamal from the first baby mama and then ran up on the woman in the parking lot of the church and proceeded to do a beatdown. Now, we don't know who won or not, but that's what we
Also,
going
this is really her karma then.
That's the rumor and tea back in the day about good old Waterneck.
She's from that area.
So she won the fight.
I don't know who won the fight, but if her ankles was involved, she won the fight.
Oh Lord, how mercy.
I wanted
what
to
was
say
the-
that I agree with earlier when you and Kylie had said about a friendship, because when you look at Atlanta and you look at Beverly Hills and sometimes New Jersey, like for instance, remember the pillow fight Well, the following day, everybody went to the spa or whatever, or the next episode, the next scene or whatever. Everybody that was involved in the pillow fight went to the spa
The next
to
scene.
have a conversation. Nobody was iced out. You didn't see Kenya. You didn't see Kenya say, "Well, I'm not going to come because Nene was all in my face." You didn't see Candy say, "Well, I'm not going to come because what's her name's sister was trying to fight
But do
me."
you know why? Do you know why? We saw why last night when Carlos did his thing. Carlos was the producer at that point, and he wasn't about to let that.
But even without him being the producer, it still happens time and time again. So I agree with them when they said this is not a real friendship, because or people who really want to be friends, even on Married to Medicine, regardless of how people felt about Mariah. Mariah was when she was on the show, she was always around the girls. So like nobody was iced out, because it just makes for better scenes and scenes in a better show. If you ice people out, like when they was in Robin's backyard having a field day with the kids, Wendy could have came. But because you didn't like her, you didn't want her to come. That doesn't make it a good show. They're making it like we want Housewives to be something that we can't do in real life. That's what Housewives is supposed to be.
No, but again, that's not the cat. That's the producers. The producers allowed this behavior. Carlos unequivocally knows that his storyline is going to come from Kenya having to be in front of Nene after the pillow fight.
But Carlos did not.
You're not going to get paid if you don't show up.
But Carlos didn't produce the other shows. I'm just saying in a general. If we friends in real life and I don't mess with you, I'm not coming nowhere around you. If we're on a show to make the show better, we're going to come together and we're going to organically argue, organically have a good time. And I'm so sick of Carlos getting up on his channel talking about a show he doesn't belong on no more. I know that Carlos. I know
for me.
I know that Carlos is Miss Daddy Andy and he missed those checks, but you over there on open channel, and ain't nobody watching no more. Okay, Miss Carlos.
But Q, you remember last season when Giselle and Robin had to get up? They had to get up and come when Wendy went through her event last year. You know what I'm saying? Right. It's like you can't pick and choose. Y'all had to get up. Y'all was gonna try to ice out the event, and they called you and said, "Baby, Mia and Candace got it going on down here. Y'all better get here." And they ended up driving down there. They were trying to do the mean girl stuff, and it didn't work. You know what I'm saying? But that's the thing, though. Like before they had, like you're saying, before they went to the spot that episode, Nene did go over to Cynthia's house, and you get what I'm saying? When we all still need to be able to get together as a group. Now, our intimate moments, I probably don't got to invite Wendy. You know, Giselle doesn't have to invite Wendy. But when we get together as a group, you know what I'm saying? We should be able to just come together for the betterment of the show. We're not saying that when this person get in the room, you can't start shading them and get into it with them. As long as you don't put your hands on them. But that is where the reality comes from.
Kim and Nene had a whole fight on a bus, and they had to continue to film the entire time.
And Nene sat in her friend's house and said, "We ain't going nowhere." Okay.
Yeah, that makes
cheers to the girls' weekend.
That makes
even when Portia and Cynthia fought, like when Cynthia like karate kicked Portia, they still worked it out.
Cynthia beat her up.
Yeah, she karate kicked her. But
like that makes iconic scenes. How many iconic scenes do you have from Potomac? And as much as people, I'm not going down the road. I'm just saying, we talk about the Monique and Candace fight. Outside of that, how many iconic scenes can you talk about from Potomac? It's
when Ashley, the dinner scene when Candace threw the knife, baby, that was iconic.
But those were all violent scenes. What about like just one shady scene?
There are moments when Karen is on. Gabor's favorite is. What did you call her? A dizzy bitch? You're the dizziest bitch on this cast?
Yes, the dizziest bitch at the table.
I mean, they have moments. When Katie got Giselle together, season 1.
I agree, but they're not.
You're the grand dame, not a damn
He said iconic. Iconic.
Yeah, they're not. They're good moments, but I'm trying to think of iconic.
So what do you? So what?
Maybe the hot box.
I loved. For me, an iconic moment was when they made it to Nemacola. When they made it to Nemacola, and Giselle was pulling her mean girl stuff and trying to get Candace to apologize to kind of make Candace apologize to Charisse, and Ashley and Candace tag team that ass.
They had iconic moment. The wig shift. That was
Oh
iconic.
yeah.
That was the best moment.
The wig shift with who?
With Karen. Candace was trying to
But you
help
can
her.
count.
Her
but you
wig
can
was all
count
the way in
on-
the back.
But you can count on your fingers, and I like Potomac. Karen is my girl, but you can count how many iconic scenes because the girls don't want to do the work together.
Exactly.
It also doesn't
I
help
think that
when
Robin
they're
and
on
Giselle
like
are
a
just-
show that's just like gotcha moments. Like it's just a bunch of like, I'm gonna have this card in my back pocket and wait to play it. Like that's kind of how they interact too. It's always just like where on the off season or whenever they're not filming, what dirt could I collect about these people, hold it in my back pocket and use it at a certain moment. That also does not make for good TV. But that's what they do. That's what they've been doing since like for 2 seasons now. So
Robin,
I don't know if we're ever
back.
going to get away from that though, because if you really think about it, all of the shows have shifted to we need to trend. We need to have something in each episode that's going to make the show trend. When Nene arrived at Sheree's house with that broken gate, and couldn't get into that party. That was
Her gate
real.
don't even work.
With the camera
That was
behind you, with the camera
real
behind you.
reality television. When Kim sent that text message, "You are a low budget bitch." That was real reality television.
When Nene pulled up on her daddy maybe over there in Athens, child. And he
just
turned
like
up looking like
Bryson.
looking like Bryson.
Yeah.
Though I mean,
it is
so we're not gonna
amazing the
ever get
secrets that people hold. Nene was calling in the camera. It's amazing the secrets that people hold. Oh my God, Greg. Oh my
Those are real
God.
moments. We're never gonna
Yeah.
get that from these girls.
You're
And
right.
to your point, this cast is not a group of friends. This
Right.
is a cast of people who were put together. Maybe, Robin and Giselle knew each other. I can't imagine that Giselle would really want to be around somebody truly broke like Robin. But
Giselle
they
ain't
knew
rolling.
each other.
Don't think Giselle rolling in money because she not.
Well, I mean, Robin was really broke.
Yeah,
S,
but
thank
Giselle
you so
was-
much.
she-
Robin and Giselle.
Hold on
are
1 second, guys. Hold on 1 second. S, thank you so much for the super sticker. I appreciate that. That was very generous. Thank you for supporting the channel. I got a couple more super chats. These comments are going a little fast. Feel Good says Carlos complain. Oh Lord. Carlos complains about the producers, but they all studied under him. Shut up.
Amen.
Plus, Carlos needs to address the colorism storyline issues with Love and Marriage Huntsville.
Can I ask you a question, Mills? Can I ask y'all a question?
I'm nervous. Let me get my book ready.
Okay, with the colorism, was it enough to make y'all cry? I'm trying to understand. Was the colorism was it enough to make y'all cry? Mims, did you cry when you actually watched the episode? Did it bring tears to your eyes about the colorism?
No.
He ain't right.
Okay. Wow.
I get so okay. Are you implying that people are overly up in arms? Is that what you're getting at?
They doing the most, child. They saying, "Oh my God, it's colorism over here. Go watch my show." We talk about colorism for real on my
now
show.
I know what you're talking about.
God.
You know what he's talking about.
I knew it was a trick.
I
and
know
a trap.
exactly what he's talking about.
Me too.
And that's my.
We
and that's
really
my point.
discuss colorism on my show. We patient
And
about
that's my
it.
point. And that's my point about Carlisha King. Like you got your own stuff to focus on. Stay over there with Oprah. I know she's not paying you and Andy paying you, but stay over there with Oprah and worry about that dry ass hip hop DC that ain't nobody watching.
It's giving a little Master P in there too. Well, I'm black though, so y'all should be watching my show because I'm black and Andy Jewish. It's giving a little Master P.
You know,
Love and Marriage DC is trash. Nobody watches it.
No, listen though.
No,
To your point.
it's trash.
No, listen, it's crazy. I heard it's okay, but I heard it got better when Monique left.
It's trash. There's only one star on that show, and her name is Winter. I know Quick and Ashley, and they only doing that for the TV screens. They not doing. That's not how they act in real life. Carlos, worry about what you got going over there.
Oh my God.
There
Okay,
goes-
Carlos. The words of the panel are not necessarily those of the Make It Make Sense brand.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that was just extra on Carlos's part. when you're
I've done so much.
Oh my
God. Then I heard somebody say, I was listening to, can we talk? Then I was listening to a review earlier. Then I was listening to a review earlier about colorism, and somebody was over there crying, talking about the Eric. What's the one from what's his name? Eric, the one that got Mike Brown. That Mike Brown got shot because he was fat and black. Child, I said, child, if y'all, baby, these people try to turn themselves into a victim. Oh, it was because he was fat and black. Y'all know it was because he was fat and black. I said, child, if we hear I'm fat, black, and ugly too, it's like, come on, y'all, we gotta stop. We gotta stop throwing extra stuff in there. You know what I'm saying? Now he was black, we can agree, but the fat and no, you can't. I'm sorry.
I don't even want to know. And if you guys know who he's talking about, do not put it in the chat. That comment will be deleted.
It's the same one that's always talking about that I'm fat and black. I'm fat and black too. Aries Spears. I look like Aries Spears too.
Lord have mercy.
Not Aries Spears.
I'm just gonna sit here and read Portia. Thank you so much, Monique Green, for the super sticker. I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Buddha Bell, for the super sticker. I definitely appreciate that.
Oh Lord.
Unity Cooper TV says iconic when Wendy gathered Giselle and Robert. You guys,
yes.
I feel like I cracked the case on the Wendy, Giselle, Robert. Y'all got me calling her Robert. Rob the Builder situation.
And his pronouns are him, broke, and a joke.
I think that Wendy just went after them for going after her marriage. However, they probably thought that Wendy had the mistress information. They definitely probably thought that the mistress had reached out to Wendy and they were prepping and bracing themselves for Wendy to disseminate that information. And they never recovered from that. But little did they know Wendy did not have the information. And if she did, she was not as low as them to use it. So I think that was the core issue. So thank you, Unity Cooper TV. Guys, we really do have to close out because this has been almost a 3-hour live.
Let your other DC girl up here real quick so she can.
Welcome to the club.
Who's the other DC girl?
Danielle.
I think the stage is packed. I don't think there's space.
I'll say this and I'll drop down. But yes, I agree, and I can't wait for your discussion tomorrow because I feel like it's just an overarching thing with Potomac of everybody's bracing themselves for what the other person might have on them. It's just it makes for just a boring show, and that's why I hope that Robin is dropped down to a friend of, because I do want her to be held accountable for what she withheld, but I don't think that she should benefit from the same of the same salary that the other women have. And also I feel like there has been a precedent set at Bravo in some capacity where if you kind of F with production, there is a consequence for it. So I feel like that's what should happen to her. So, all right, bye guys.
Bye. Thank you. The link has been dropped. DGF says on Real Housewives of Miami, when Kiki says she knew that Lenny was no good based on the shape of his head in her confessional, then mimed his square head.
She sure did say that. She sure did.
Thank you, DGF. And I got a super sticker from Monique Green. Thank you again, Monique Green. Y'all are really coming through. Y'all definitely have showed up and showed out. The link has been dropped.
There's somebody next to me, ma'am, who hasn't went.
Bucky threw some bows. Bucky came in. Danielle, I dropped the link for you. I don't know where you're at. Yeah, tomorrow should be pretty good. I'm excited because each one of those people is hilarious. Y'all know how funny
he's a mess.
Definitely drop the link to Gabor's channel. Gabor usually goes on Monday through Friday. He definitely puts out consistent content. go subscribe to my boy Gabor. What's up, Danielle?
Hey y'all.
The word on the street in DC. Danielle.
Man, schoolwork had me up late. That's how I caught y'all. Okay, so listen. One, let's talk about something. Coppin State is not the most richest university. And I'm about to drop some tea and give y'all some receipts.
Well, yeah, they got wine. So
they the brokest?
When it comes to the athletic world, it's the coach's responsibility to raise money for their team for that season. Meaning, you'll see some, and this is proven example, Coppin State will play Georgetown University. You're thinking, well, why the hell Coppin get to play Georgetown? Because they're paid to let Georgetown beat them. Also, it's also the coach's responsibility, like I said, to raise money. If you go to Coppin State's LinkedIn page, you will see flyers. Even on Juan's page, I think it's still on his IG page, you'll see flyers of a fundraiser that he was having, and he had his guest people as Giselle and Robin. And then if you pay real close attention, Robin showed up, but Giselle didn't, because the fundraiser was the night after the story dropped about Juan and the kids at the university. Giselle didn't show up. She was supposed to show up to help him raise money because, of course, she's on Real Housewives of Potomac, and that's how it was promoted. But because that tea dropped about Juan, Giselle didn't show up to help Robin and Juan out, raise the money for the university's athletic department. So them being out washing uniforms is not out of the norm, especially if they're out of town. If it was a tournament, we already heard a couple of seasons ago before where Juan left the uniforms and they had to renege or pull out the tournament because the uniforms were left and they couldn't play. So Juan got so many ways he's going to lose his job. I got some other tea about that, but I need to confirm it when I talk to the director tomorrow. So I'm going to leave that alone.
Juan could probably go work for Michael. I'm sure he could find a place for him in the company.
Michael could make a position for Juan. Michael
would definitely get into position for Juan.
That part.
You was quick with it, man. I like that.
Danielle is our resident word on the street, but now we got some competition because Q was dropping the T2. Danielle, did you hear that Giselle put a beat down on the first baby mama?
So I did not hear that, but I do know for a fact, and some of this I'm about to tell y'all can prove for yourself. I think I told y'all this. My parents know Jamal's parents. They used to break bread together. My mother told me she had never heard Jamal's parents ever mention Giselle. I find that very true to believe because Giselle's father didn't walk her down the aisle, and that's supposed to be daddy's little girl. So something about that marriage wasn't right to begin with. And
wait up.
I've never, if you think about it, if your child is getting married, you're excited. You're going to tell everyone. The fact that my mother said, I don't ever remember his parents ever telling me anything about that lady, that girl. I was like, well, are you sure? That's something your parents are going to brag about, especially if they're proud of the person you're marrying. So, yeah, there's that. So,
I mean,
I
her
don't
parents
know.
weren't proud either from the way her dad speaks about him.
Her father didn't walk her down the aisle. Remember? So you're right.
Didn't Jamal already have a kid too?
Yeah.
Yeah, Topaz.
Like she said, that was a whole mess. Like that was just like what we are saying is not stuff we making up. Like that was a whole mess.
I saw pictures
were
of Topaz when
young
she
too, right?
graduated. She's actually like strikingly gorgeous. She's a very
Who?
pretty girl. Jamal's
Who?
oldest daughter. She's very pretty.
Oh yeah, she's the dark skinned one.
The Topaz.
Yeah, she's pretty. She's pretty.
But why she gotta be the dark skinned one now?
But don't he got about 9 of them? He got like 9 of them. Shit.
Wait, no, honestly, how many kids does Jamal have?
He has 4. Topaz. 3, no, he has 5. I'm sorry. Topaz, 3 with Giselle, and then a little boy who's 5 years old.
5.
Well, y'all made it
Okay.
seem like he was just out here throwing dick. I
I
mean,
thought he had
y'all
two
made it
more
seem like
under. I thought he had two under Giselle's
Yeah,
kids.
okay, but
No.
isn't it a little hypocritical that Giselle's daddy, who was cheating on the mama, had anything to say about a man with a bunch of kids out of wedlock?
What Giselle daddy? So Giselle daddy must have had an outside child because Giselle mama only had 2 kids.
We heard that she has a brother and a sister, right?
I've
But
always
her
known.
her brother is by the mama though. Her brother is by the mama.
Oh, so the sister is the half sibling.
Wow, Mr. Graves. Wow, Mr. I have a pedigree.
So here's
Okay. Really
So-
quickly, Jersey Girl says that is why Robin needs her job. If the head coach is washing uniforms, this is disturbing.
No,
Thank you,
Jersey
Jersey Girl.
No, okay. So as the girlfriend of a head coach, it's not out of the norm. I've watched jerseys for Big Daddy's team before. It's not out of the norm. I promise you.
Big Daddy, are you dating G?
Ew, no.
Goodbye.
What?
That's what she calls him, Daddy G.
Oh yeah,
Daddy G.
That's Granddaddy G. And no, my baby is Big Daddy. But no, real talk. I watched uniforms before, and my baby is a head coach. Now, mind you, it is high school, but again, it's not out of the norm. Again, we're talking about Coppin State.
Danielle, but the woman who alleged it said they weren't washing uniforms.
That's
This was like
allegedly.
personal clothes.
I'm just saying, real talk, it's not out of the norm for the coach to wash the uniforms. Even when I played ball, I don't remember that when I played ball, but I just learned the other night at the bar, it's not out of the norm. It's not a Georgetown University. This is not UConn. This is not Duke. This is not one of your major schools. It's Coppin
Students
State.
gotta pay to wash clothes, so I believe that coaches
Yeah, and
have to pay to
Coppin
wash
State
their
is
students' uniform. I
and
believe.
Thank
Coppin
you,
State
Jersey Girl.
is literally
Coppin
off
State
of North.
D1.
It's this place called North Avenue, which is the hood. Like it's literally off of North Avenue.
Is
Not to say it's a
Coppin
bad
D1?
school, but you know.
I guess can look at it like this. You would rather wash your uniforms yourself than worry about the kid not bringing it back for the next game. I would rather take that responsibility on and put it on the kid. It doesn't matter. In college, they the same way. They still stinking it dirty. We talking about kids that just came from home who parents probably wash their clothes the whole time. You know what I'm saying?
Never have I ever seen a college coach wash the
But we're not talking about a college that has a. She's talking about a college that is
We're
not
talking
as
about
well
an
off.
HBCU. I ran
that is
track
not
in
as
college.
well off as maybe a Harvard or something like that.
The
I'm not
head
saying Coppin is a
coach.
bad school. I'm saying that Coppin is in an area where a lot of kids
Coppin is
even
means
if
that
there
they
was
need.
if you're going with they have facilities like on campus.
Okay.
No, they okay.
But they
Can
weren't
I
on
cut in
campus.
here?
They were out
Because
of
I
town.
also went to HBCU, and Coppin is a state university. They don't get that much funding from the state.
Right.
So most of the money that they get, they have to spread it out across as they literally are making do. So it's not out of the norm for coaches to collect their football players, even basketball players or baseball players uniform and take it and have to be the one to pay out of their pockets to wash it. That's not the only thing that they've done for their students.
And I won't even say this probably out of pocket. Juan is a head coach. I'm sure he has a P card.
I mean,
he can write everything off. So I wouldn't even say it was really
out of pocket,
Yeah.
but yeah. Like he's having to come out of his funds for the football program to make sure that their uniform is clean.
Oh, look at that super
Really
chat.
quickly, Monique says it's true about Giselle. Oh, Monique, Monique, go ahead. Now we will be closing out, but Monique, I will drop the link if you want to come and spill this tea. Only Monique. Oh, y'all are not gonna let me out of this live. Hey, Autumn's mom. Somebody was literally just asking about you. They said, I miss Autumn's mom on your panels. Where has she been? And I said, strangely enough, I haven't seen her, but her daughter does communicate with me from time to time on Insta.
I.e., that's me. Look, that's me communicating with you through her Instagram. But yeah, no, I know I've been MIA. Life has gotten busy, but it's good. So I saw all my favorites on your channel tonight.
You went out, Autumn's mom. Hello, Autumn's mom. AM.
Hello?
I can hear you now.
Okay. Um, my comments for tonight is pretty much yes, I agree with everything that everyone said. I do see how being a coach for a college team, yeah, they don't have that much money, but you don't need to be at the laundromat. They have facilities on campus. If that is the case, I'm sure Juan has a place. There's other places besides the laundromat to be in the wee, at late at night with some that
Can I
doesn't
play
even it
devil's
doesn't match.
advocate?
Who said it was late at night?
Right.
Well,
it was in
But
the
can I play a
daytime.
devil's advocate? The washing machines on campus aren't that big.
That's what I was going to say, because don't we all our comforters and stuff to the laundry?
Yeah, and they weren't at Coppin. They were at Norfolk.
Out of town.
Okay, see,
So
so
if you're
Thank you for the super chat, Monique Green.
if
I
you're
appreciate
out of
that.
town in a tournament and you're told that you have to wear your colored jerseys because the other team is wearing their white jerseys, then you're going to have to go to the laundromat and wash them jerseys after every day because it's a new game every day in a tournament.
I get what you're saying, and I guess if you twist something long enough, all the water will come out. With that being said, it still doesn't make sense why Juan Dixon would be at a laundromat doing the laundry with some female. Out of everybody, there was another assistant coach, somebody else that could have went with him. It had to be a female.
Juan doesn't
It just doesn't
care.
look. And with everything that you've been in lately, you should try to avoid the optics of anything being untoward. To me, that doesn't seem like much to ask for. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. Let's call it
100%
thing.
agree. It's not
Autumn, Mom, you're absolutely right.
It's not insane to ask someone to care about the optics.
With him,
However, Juan Dixon does not care 100%
Yeah, he doesn't care.
how
That's
he
the
looks.
thing.
He does
we
not
care so much. My biggest thing
We
is
care
this.
for
I
him.
hear some people.
We care for him.
Well, no, don't care for him, because if he cared enough, he would have just exited out of Robin's life completely and went on with his life. We heard how he truly feels, and there's no sense in staying for the kids, especially when you can't even hold to that agreement. And now you got Robin and your kids out here looking dumb. Go live your life. Be happy. Stop putting up facades for TV's sake. Now, I get it. The check look good or whatever, but if y'all can't even keep up the facade to make it believable, and then you have your quote unquote wife up here now doing backflips and pee pumps to try to come up with excuses for you, it doesn't make sense. For one, even this reunion, which can we?
This is the same man that will allow the hotel to run his card knowing that your information is going to end up on a receipt.
But then you just go and say, well, you didn't feel as though you needed to say, share your whole life. So with that being said, I don't think she needs to be brought back, because I wouldn't trust her to share exactly what's going on. She's going to sugarcoat it, make it as favorable to her as possible. And at the end of the day, do I really care? No, go live your life. Be your authentic selves. Do you, and then you don't have to worry about getting caught at a laundromat of all places. You wasn't even out to dinner. You're at a laundromat. That's just so tacky.
Ty's Hot Messy History. Shout out to Ty. Great content creator. She does all these really dope historical, funny, like videos. Definitely go check her out. And her titles are hilarious. She says, getting ready to watch your video about Robin's acting career. Viewers we shared told me about it. Yeah, Robin does have a movie career. I did a whole video on it. Definitely check that out. Thank you, Ty, for the super chat. She definitely supports my channel, guys. I support hers. Follow her. She shared my content, and a lot of people just won't randomly do that. So that was really nice. If you know better, you know better, says Juan sure likes them strong in the face.
Mims, I missed the beginning part of this show, so I don't want to ask questions that were already asked. I have a the one question I do have, I've been dying. I was on Gabor's channel yesterday. I wanted to see what Callie Nova thought about Michael's shenanigans, with him being the largest landowner in Somalia. What she thought about, because I know she always used to come up and say he doesn't have any real money, he's not really that rich, this, that, and the third. Did I miss that conversation?
Callie wasn't here for that. We did talk about it. We did touch bases on
I had
it.
the same question.
Okay.
He did not pay a lot of
Y'all don't forget nothing.
I don't believe that he paid a lot of money for the land that he bought, to be honest with you.
He didn't.
As I understand it, he bought an 18% stake in this company that prides themselves on going into war-torn countries and gets them stable so that they can go back and be a part of the world marketplace. I don't know exactly how much capital Michael had to put in it, because what they were looking for was American real estate developers. So whatever projects Michael might have had, don't sleep on Michael. He may look like haggard and old and, not about too many things, but from what I read up on him, his business should have folded years ago when was it Lehman's or Barclays folded during the Great Recession of 2008. He should have folded, but he was smart enough to turn it around even after his partner left the company. So I think that he is sitting on substantial cash. It's just not that cash that Ashley can touch.
And
but I don't know what Callie's thought is.
Let's not forget, Michael owned a part of Watergate.
Yes.
Regardless of anything else, that's major retail because of the history that comes with Watergate.
What happened was in like 2002, Michael was getting, I think Lehman's? They gave him like $3 million. And then a couple years later, he had done so well, they were giving him lines of credit of like 70 million. So I'm not surprised that if you have that type of cash flow, you've gone out and purchased all of these homes in the DMV area and, vacation homes, you were using that capital. So I wouldn't be surprised if, he wanted to be a big shot and he had enough capital from all of these lines of credit they were loaning him to invest in that hotel. And I don't think he just was sitting on, 50 million. I think because they were extending the credit. And y'all remember that recession happened because banks were just giving people money.
Yeah. But what's funny is when I saw Michael out a few Fridays ago at the restaurant, he really looks like that little creepy picture with him laughing at the bar, holding his glass. He looks like, as he was walking over to the table, he was going to meet some little brunette lady, and he literally looks like that in person. It was so hilarious. I wish I could have put it on camera out then.
And just because they don't just because Michael doesn't flaunt his money on the show, don't think that Michael doesn't have any money. Like I think he's probably one of the richest housewives in the franchises.
And also, can we also say this, men? Just because he didn't invest a substantial amount of money doesn't mean that there wasn't much more money to be made on the back end. That's just being a smart businessman, as well as if you can go into a continent and then go into a country, buy some land that is questionable whether it should have been sold to you or not, and do whatever business dealings behind, and they slide you this land just like they slid Madonna her kid and Angelina Jolie their kid for a couple of dollars. What does that really mean? You just had clout, you know what I mean? So I think that Michael got a lot more going on than we originally thought, and that's why he always got that smirk on his face, like the cat that ate the canary type look.
I don't think this is smirk. He just doesn't have any lips. Hold on really quick. Thank you so much. If you know better, you do better. Monique says check Western High School class of 15 years younger than Jamal because he likes youngins. Oh my gosh.
Oh.
What?
Wait, what are we checking?
I don't understand.
The first baby mama?
I think that there's something that Ashley's
I
think that there's something that Ashley's keeping from us about her quote unquote divorce situation, because even her demeanor at the reunion when she's talking about how she supposedly wasn't getting anything.
Thank you, Monique.
I think that there's something that she's keeping to herself to hide for like tax purposes or legal reasons because she's too like, I don't know if the word is smug. There's just something sneaky about Ashley that
She was too calm about it. She was too calm. She was too calm about it. She was like, "Oh yeah, I don't think I get any money." I believe that Ashley low key is getting some money from Michael. She just
I just thought it was her sticking her tail between her leg and being a little humble.
I think that's part of it, Danielle. I do think that apology came very quickly at the reunion because she is a little like humbled at everything that you said. When Ashley came in, she thought she was gonna be she thought she was gonna be that girl. She had the money, she had the lifestyle. He had given her $2 million to open this restaurant, and in each iteration of Ashley on this show, it's been failure after failure. The only thing that she was successfully able to do was have those children. Other than that, it's been an absolute bust. Thank you so much for the super chat. I don't quite understand what you were saying, Monique. I don't know if that's you trying to get up backstage, but
she was saying that if you look at nothing, never mind. I gotta
let me know. I mean, put it in the chat, and you don't have to do another super chat. Just put it in. Explain what you were saying in the chat, and I will pull up your comment. Shawnee B says Ashley confessed that she was giving Michael her check, so she's not going to reveal the truth.
So
wait,
that's
the same thing Erica Jane was doing with Tom.
Yeah.
What Monique was saying to talk about.
Thank you, Chani.
The talk in the town about Jamal, and somebody said it in the comment. He got somebody reports allegedly. I don't really believe it myself, but he got somebody 18, 19 years old pregnant, and they had to go to get
That's legal though. 18 is legal.
Yeah, he didn't do anything illegal. It's nasty, but it's not illegal.
But it wouldn't have looked right for the image.
Not for a pastor. No, absolutely not.
His image is already tarnished.
I understand that, but at the time,
This wasn't recent though, right, Q?
You said what?
This wasn't recent, right?
No, this wasn't recent.
Yeah.
Okay, so Monique, I think Monique is trying to get backstage. Because somebody keeps clicking that link. Monique says, yes, first baby mama graduated, I believe, in 87 or 88 from Western High School. I was in the class of 86. So she potentially knew this. What'd you say, Gabor?
I wasn't even born yet.
I knew that's what she was saying.
Somebody keeps hitting the link. Yeah, I don't know.
You know I wasn't born yet, Mims. Don't be making those faces like
I didn't
that.
make a face.
Yeah, you did.
That's why I don't. That's why I believe that Karen and Giselle are like friends off the show because of all this stuff that I just said, right? And that people in the comments said, and that Danielle has said that you not throwing it in Karen's and you not throwing it in Giselle's face. So.
Okay, Monique. So if that was you, and we really will. If this is Monique, then definitely come up and spill whatever tea, and then that'll be the end of this live, y'all, because this has been 3 hours.
15 minutes. Did I say this? Someone brought up correlation between Ashley and Erica Jane. I think the situations are a little similar, but I have to say I absolutely believe that maybe it's because Erica is older and she was a stripper. To me, I think that she was hit to the game and that Tom did not put one over on her. I think they colluded together to try to get as much as they could and get as far as they could. I think Ashley got caught up in the lifestyle and was okay with Michael feeding her crumbs. And when I say crumbs, that's giving her the restaurant and giving her the condo and just trying to keep her happy in that. And when she started to try to seek a little more, he put his foot down like, no, that's all you're getting. And she wasn't wise enough because she said, I don't even know how much money this man makes or where it's coming from. At least Erica Jane said, listen, he's an attorney. And my prenup is ironclad, and I know I'm not going to be able to get through it or around it, so it is what it is, which I don't believe, but at least she stated that. Ashley just comes off a little more naive. I think she got.
Ashley should have been Ashley should have been trying to get her a divorce. I mean, a lawyer to look at that prenup instead of getting the Bravo cameras in there.
And that's what Uncle Lump
Absolutely.
said to her too. Uncle
And
Lump
true
asked her,
story,
did she have to
somebody
vote?
did.
And she had Giselle them talking about it on camera like it was a joke. You know what I'm saying? All in the confession. I just would have never did one of my friends like that if they was trying to get into some money. This is not going to be content for y'all. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to make sure I'm good for real.
Due
Oh, so you're
to
gonna do a charade.
consumption
You're gonna do a
of.
big race.
I think Ashley not
He
telling us
had a
something.
leg to stand on. He take them tapes to her attorney, but she just feels as though whatever Michael says is what it is. But she's playing herself, and you can't even go to one of these islands and take a tour of a timeshare, and they give you alcohol. And no, as soon as you sign the deal.
I think Ashley was more afraid of Michael because of how much money he has.
Yes.
Ashley realized that she doesn't have the money to hire the type of attorneys that Michael can hire. And that's why she didn't put up
Well,
a
she
fight.
don't need a high-powered attorney. Anybody could have told her, hello, honey, this language in here says this, and if you renegotiate that, it wasn't going to take a rocket scientist to figure it out. I think she was just young, and she thought that what she had in between her legs was gold, and it was something he never experienced, and she had something over him, and she was going to be able to use that. And Michael's like, yeah, honey, okay, that's good, but no, I'm going to keep my money. Like, at the end of the day, I think she got, and I don't feel bad because I think it was pretty much she was trying to get what she can get from him, and he got her. Like, when you try to use people, all's fair in love and war.
Okay, so I got two patients, and one of them is texting me. My niece had her wisdom teeth pulled, so I still can't go to bed. Thank you so much, Monique Green. I had dropped the link. We're gonna go ahead and have to call it a night. Thank you so much, Chani B. It says if his money is going to investments and do not know how much he makes, she in turn could be making more than him.
No,
that's kind of what I said. If he's only saying that his yearly income is 500,000 to 600,000 and she brings home 500 to 800, that's why she wouldn't get alimony. But after hearing that he owns all this land in Somalia, and how business savvy he is and how he turned his company around single-handedly because his partner was gone, I think Michael then hid some money.
Yeah.
Maybe he hid it with some man. Maybe he hid it with some bank. But he didn't hid some money somewhere. Thank you, Chani.
Bought stock, 18% of a stock. And one thing we know about stock is to buy low and let it sit because it's going to raise up. Michael knows what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
I think that he knew that Ashley didn't want him. I think that he left his wife, and by his own admission, he was looking for something different. So he'd had his wife. He didn't say that we were having all these problems or there was some core issue. He said, I saw the people around me getting old, and I knew that I couldn't be that. Guys,
and Ashley kept him young with those 3 ways, and he was enjoying it. And like she said, when she stopped it, he got off the train because he wanted to go have another 3-way.
Yep, and then Ashley had them grown-looking kids. All right.
Guys,
well,
thank you so much.
I know you did when the way that okay, so see, y'all don't do that to Chris Brown though. When it was Chris Brown, it was outrage.
Oh my God! No, not
I said.
Can I say this one thing real quick? I want y'all to Google Brothers, the movie Brothers, and then go to images and tell me what y'all think.
A mess.
Who they look like as adults.
Google.
It's the Step Brothers. It's the one
It's Step Brothers.
And then go to images and tell me what y'all think about who they're gonna look like when they
Ashley
get grown.
Yep, they already the babies are grown.
We let the kids on Mim's channel. Look at Mim. Look how little Mim's looking.
I'm not.
So what are you working on next from Bravo, Mims? Look.
I am not touching that at all. I appreciate you all being here. Like I said, tomorrow, me, Gabor, Rodney, and Jamie are all going to be on my channel at 1:30 p.m. talking Potomac, clowning, have a good time. Each one of those people is hilarious. So I might have to have a daytime drink. I don't know. But
when I grow up.
Thank you all for being here. Thank you for every new person who came up. That means a lot because that's what these open discussion panels are for. It is y'all's show. I will see you all tomorrow.
Bye, you guys.
I gotta go to bed, and I gotta go see what this girl wants. Bye.
Good night.
Bye.